Oh, come on, don't start being stupid, bro. Yo. Yo. Oh, why is it? Is this thing acting silly or is it lagging? I can't tell, bro, if this thing's lagging or not. Hey, big up to everybody watching, yeah. It's King Riches. It looks like it's lagging a little bit. I'm gonna have to start this again, bro. I'm not gonna have this thing messing up. Hey, let me know in the chat. Is it lagging? Is it lagging? Shout out to Mohammed. Shout out to Faylis. Shout out to Produced by Flame. Is the video lagging? Because if it's lagging, I'm going to restart it. All right. Let me know in the chat. This is going to be a very interesting live stream right now. This is a very important subject. All right, cool. It's not lagging. All right, awesome. Someone said, yes, it's lagging. It's good. It's good. It's good. All right, cool. Then if it's lagging for you, then I don't know. That means that's your computer acting up, bro. But like, yeah, boom. All right. So I'm going to do a live stream today talking about why black people, for some strange reason, find it very difficult to get along. Right? For some strange reason, we seem to find it difficult to get along, even though we are in a time where there's a lot of anti-black people running around very confidently voicing their negative opinions and views on us, regardless of what nation you're in, right? And I want to give you lot the opportunity to talk to me, so we can share our points of view. Obviously, I'll tell you a bit about myself. I was born and raised in London, England. My parents are both Nigerian, so West African descent. I was born and raised in London, England. I've lived for many years in America, in the South. I went college, played college football, all of that stuff. So I've been around Caribbeans and African people from different countries. I've been around, non-black people, obviously. I've been in interracial relationships. I've been in relationships with women from my own community, as in black women, Caribbean, African American, mixed race women, etc., non-black women. So I think I have a very wide range of experiences with different people, different black people, and just people in general. I think that I have a very unique experience, and I think I'm a good person to have these kind of conversations with. Do you get what I'm saying? So obviously the link to call in is pinned to the top of the live chat. Yeah. But as I was saying, yeah, I think that it's very strange that a lot of black people from different nations seem to have a lot of problem with other black people, even though there's so many non-black people that have a problem with us as a whole. Yeah. Obviously, in recent times, we've seen Chud the Builder. Yeah. Chud the Builder was a kick streamer who was going around various places in America antagonizing black people, like deliberately calling them the N-word to their face and daring them to do something about it. Right. And then he was hiding behind the guise of freedom of speech when really he's just being antagonizing and trying to cause trouble. And basically he would always say, you blacks are chimping out, etc., etc., you're chimping out. His objective was to be disgusting and rude and just demeaning to black people, and hopefully instigate a response. Yeah, instigate violence, really. And then he would try to use that as a grounds to do something very evil to a black person. Now, obviously, I'm sure most of us know what happened to Chud the Builder. He had one of those said altercations, and he ended up shooting a black guy, right? And before that even happened, he tweeted something about how he was gonna delete a black guy and get away with it and blah blah blah. Now you gotta understand the significance of that is he has a lot of support. You see, it's not so much that we focus just on Chud, but what we need to realize as black people is that he was getting a lot of support. Like an overwhelming amount of people support these type of individuals. Yeah, we've got there's other examples of these kind of people, you know, in America, in UK, you know, various other countries, and it's getting to a point where they're becoming very, very confident, very, very confident. Now they're getting up in black people's faces and saying what they really truly think and how they feel and stuff like that. And you know, if you have any kind of response that is not passive, then they will start calling you names and say you're chimping out, when really and truly they're instigating a problem. They're deliberately insulting black people and instigating problems, right? But apart from that dark reality that we're facing in this current climate, you know, we still have black people who they want to be xenophobic. They have xenophobic ideas and etc. And it's just unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. But I really want to actually talk to you people. I want to have a conversation with you people. I don't really want to have to read the chat. If you've got something you want to say, then you're more than welcome to hit the link and actually have a conversation. Like whether you're black, you're non-black, whether you're a black American, African, Caribbean, white man, white woman, I don't care. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't mind, like, because as I said already, I have a very broad experience with different types of black people in different dynamics, more than I would say like the typical person has. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, we've got a caller. Awesome. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah. So it's crazy all the things that have been kind of going on in the media. I know there's like a lot of racial tension right now with the whole Carmelo Anthony Metcalf case. It's kind of crazy because like I don't really pay attention to it, but you know I've been seeing a lot of people been having like random fights on the internet, and it just seems a little crazy to me.
All right, so what do you think about the case? What do you think? Do you think that um race is the number one element in this whole situation with the Metcalf Carmelo case, or do you think that it was just like, what do you think about it?
I think like before it happened, like let's say like right as it was happening, I don't think it was actually about race. I think it was two guys. I don't know exactly what they were arguing about, but I think it was, I don't know. I guess they must have had some beef or something. I don't know their history, but I don't think it was a crime necessarily committed because of race. I don't think it was a hate crime. I just think it was more like a spur of the moment type of anger
Mm-hmm.
thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because this is the thing. I was on a podcast yesterday, and a guy by the name of Andrew Wilson, he was saying that Carmelo should have got the death penalty and all of this, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Um, do I think he should have received punishment for taking the other boy's life? Absolutely. I don't necessarily have a problem with him getting the sentence he got. He potentially could have got a harsher sentence as well. At the end of the day, he took the boy's life, and you know it is what it is. But I think that um, if we if we actually look at it like fairly, I think that the situation more than likely was it was two guys. Um, what's it? Carmelo was a smaller guy. He was under another school's tent. I think the Metcalf boy. I think there was an element of bullying there. He tried to like assert his dominance, etc., and then it went left. That's what I think happened. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what
Like
I
and
think.
and
Yeah,
and
I don't
literally,
think
it takes a
it.
second.
Yeah,
It takes literally seconds to ruin your life or take someone else's life.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think this. I don't think that the situation itself really had anything to do with racism, because I remember when I was a kid in high school, I had people, say things to me, and so what I suspect happened is Austin. He probably had like maybe he had like some type of ego or something. I don't think he. I don't know if he was necessarily physically bullying him, but he probably was like maybe picking on him, or like you said earlier, trying to assert his dominance. I
Yeah,
don't
I mean the guy was
necessarily know.
the guy was a football player. Like he was considerably bigger than Carmelo. He's under his own school tent. Like Carmelo's literally just a random stranger in their tent. Who's probably thinking like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, get out. I don't care if it's raining, get out. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And then they're saying that he actually put his hand on Carmelo, and Carmelo was like, if you touch me again, see what happens. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
now not to justify Carmelo taking out a knife and using it. I absolutely don't
yeah,
believe
that's too
in that.
much.
And that's the
Yeah,
reason why I don't necessarily have an issue with the sentence he got. But when
yeah,
when when you've got guys talking about he deserved to get the death penalty, bro, like
that's too much.
there's levels, there's different levels to this.
Yeah, yeah. The death penalty, that's meant for like people that are really insanely evil, like people like Ted Bundy, or people like that
Like
were in
serial
the nine
killers, yeah.
eleven hijackings or something like that.
Yeah, like doing really
Not
evil things. Like, but like that was just like,
yeah, because
because do you
this
know what I
type
was
of
thinking? Because you
yeah.
know what I was. Hold on, I was thinking about this all today. That conversation, because all hindsight's always 2020. You're thinking all the things I wish I'd said, yeah. And I was thinking that,
Hmm.
bruh, every time, yeah, and everybody think about this. Every time you have a fight, if you ever have a altercation, even if it's just a fist fight, the potential to take someone's life is there. You literally
Yeah,
could get into an argument, punch someone one time, and they could just pass away. Now,
yeah.
and I didn't,
There's varying levels. Yeah,
I didn't pose that to Andrew, but I was gonna say if you had the fight and you got into argument with someone, you punched them and they passed away, does that person deserve the death penalty?
no, I think that there's varying degrees. What there's like first degree, second degree.
Yeah,
I'm not too um well read on the terms, but there's like different, types of murder
there's
classifications
levels,
based
and
off
I
what
think I think I
the
think I
intention
think what
was.
it was, yeah. I honestly think this, yeah, like I think that Carmelo felt like I'm the one. I'm by myself. These guys have come to me. They're just asserting their dominance over me. It's me against everyone else. And the guy he's already put his hand on him, which is a common assault. If you put your hand on someone, that's already an assault, bro. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and he did something. He honestly, I don't believe in carrying weapons. I think anyone that carries a weapon, you're a coward and you're weak for doing that. But in this
well, I mean, especially
situation,
at a school. I mean, like,
in this situation, I don't believe his intention was to delete the boy. I don't think that's what happened. And he actually, because I've done a little bit of research, it actually come to pass that he had a lot of remorse for what he done.
yeah, I mean, well, like I said, this type of murder is very common. It happens like all the time. It's like people, they get into an argument. Like I remember seeing this like documentary, and this guy, he got into an argument with some guy in the parking lot, and he went and shot the guy. I don't know if he intended to kill the guy, but if you shoot someone, you pretty much very likely to kill them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You can try to aim for
But
the
this is the
leg or
thing. I
whatever,
heard
but
the way I've heard what happened with Carmelo. He he used the knife one time. Now this guy is not an expert ninja. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like he's not an
he might
expert
have
hitman.
maybe he put
He's
it
not
in
an
the
expert
area
hitman
he
to
didn't.
know what he's
Yeah,
doing, bro. Like he could literally have just swung it, like literally just swung his arm out, just flicked his arm out, and it's just gone. It just perfectly pierced the boy's heart, which is obviously tragic. But as I said, bro, like bro, things like this happen. Like so, like to act like
yeah,
he was like
especially in
premeditated trying to delete the.
uh,
I don't think so. I think that he was just stupid. He made a very very crucial
well,
mistake, and he's gonna pay for it. And I'm not justifying what he did. I'm just saying this is what I think happened. Like, do you get what I'm saying? But
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
but let me
especially.
ask
I
you
mean,
this.
I
Let me
guess
ask you this. Let me
mhm,
ask you what country? What like where are you? Black, white?
I'm a white guy. I'm from the U.S.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me ask you a question. Like, why? And this is obviously to connected to the title. In your opinion, yeah, why do you think black people don't get along?
Like black people with each other don't get
Yeah,
along with each other.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
why do black people not get along with other black people?
yeah. From your opinion,
Oh, there's very okay. So one, well,
and I'm
online,
gonna
for
bring
example,
and while you're saying that, I'm gonna bring other people on the stage. Yeah.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
of course.
Cool.
So one reason I think that a lot of black people don't get along well enough is because the there's so many like nations. Like you could be a black person from the UK, you could be a black person from Africa, you could be a black person from America, a black person from Brazil. Those are all very different cultures. So you can't just, I can see why there's, I mean, if we're talking about online, um,
I if you're not speaking,
I
can
don't
you mute your
think I
mic?
agree with that.
If you're not, hey, let me just say, if you're not speaking, like mute your mic in it, so there's no like background noises. Yeah. But go on.
Richie, can I get a word in?
Yeah. Hold on. There was what was running wild just speaking.
Yeah, I said I don't think I agree with that because I don't think it has to do with any other nation. We've identified other people as black. It's more of a culture thing in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's just an energy thing. You just don't vibe with that particular person's energy in your presence. It's not necessarily that violence has to commence. It's just that, you know, energies don't match. I mean, that's kind of human nature almost to this point. But anybody
Okay.
else can speak on that.
I
Go on,
was
back.
I
watching
speak
this.
on it. I
Go on.
speak on it. Old young wise one. The real reason, one of the main real reasons why blacks in America don't get along too much, because y'all gotta understand, it was blacks that was already here. Uppity blacks came over here, try to bargain with us and trade with us. They went back and told where they was from, other nations where they was from, about us. We had everything here. So they came over here in droves. That's the thing they don't tell everybody about. They had war with us. The black Americans was forced to learn their way of languages and their way of life. Remember, I don't know if my age, but I'm 41 now. They used to have standoffs. I'm quite sure, brother from London, you know about the 10 paces. They brought that 10 paces shit over here.
I just wanna like get clear what you're trying to say, so like there's no
It's,
confusion. Yeah. So what you're
this is no
saying?
confusion.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
what you're saying is the reason why blacks in America don't get along with blacks in America. Is this what you're talking about?
Right. They mixed us all together. And we from different tribes. Just like in Africa, all Africans never met each other. They fought
Yeah.
each other on the battlefield, and a lot of them teamed together and battled. Same thing in America. We are all different tribes in America.
So okay, cool. So
Cherokee.
what? Hold on. So what you're saying is that there was black people in America before the transatlantic slave trade.
Right. And we
And
was already one big nation. They got a book called 101 Nations of America, over 500. We was already going around the world just like everybody else was going around the world. But remember, the world was all black people first. Before the mutation and melanation disappeared, before vitiligo, we was already knew about each other. A lot of us been trading with each other, just like in where Greenland is. There was a lot of whale
So
hunting
who are
up
the
there. We met each
who are,
other.
let me ask you a question, bro. Then who are the Native Americans then?
The Native Americans was the Mongoloid branches who was mixing with the Vikings. Remember, they went around kidnapping and murdering everywhere. So they took a lot of women places,
Who's
and then the
they?
women
Who's
were
they?
the Kongs, the Mongoloids, the Vikings. They mixed and mingled with a lot of different races. No different from the Arabians. When they went around the world.
Hold on, like you gotta slow down because you say a lot of things very quickly. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'm gonna slow it down for y'all. All right, it's like this. We get mixed around.
Bro. No.
Our cultures.
No. Hold on. When you say things, let me
What?
just like cut into like when you make a point, let's make that point clear. Because when you jump from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing, it's like it's the too much information. Yeah. So you're saying you're saying that Mongoloids was in America and then they started mixing.
No.
So where did they come from?
Even though we branched off into each other, we seen each other, we met each other, like we met the Vikings too. But remember, there wars too. Wars. We meet each other, we stole from each other, we took from each other. Then there came the treaties. We couldn't be around each other too much. Those same people who couldn't trade with us no more, they went and met other people.
Where do you get this information from?
Studying. Here in America, we studied our family. A lot of our family were, and
Black Americans and
Black Americans who studied. They studied under masonry. So
Black American, I have no idea what you're talking about, buddy.
Because you're not on my level. I come from the conscious. Hey, I come from the conscious community. Okay. I come from Steve Coakley. I come from up under Steve Coakley, Phil Valentine, Brother Bobby Hemmett. I come from up under them, the ones who went off and who studied a lot of the illegal shit we couldn't read, we couldn't study, we couldn't go and figure out because people who took them oaths. They also took those oaths about who the Black Americans were.
So
the real Black Americans are the indigenous people of America. We can't be around too many other people because we can take the oath.
Conversation. You need to slow down, bro. Yeah.
Can I get a word in before
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this, because this video is not all about Black Americans, bruv.
No. I'm not. You said why we can't get along. You said why we can't get along.
Chill, relax. Yeah. Why is it that? Because again, in light of what's going on in this day and age right now, yeah, let's forget about 400 years ago for a minute, yeah, or 600 or 700 years ago. Let's talk about what's going on now.
Present day.
We in light of
everything that happened back then. What's happening now,
bro? I don't want to mute you, but like you need to listen because it's not just gonna be chaos, bruv. All right. In light of what's going on now with all these non-Black people that are going around confidently, boldly being very racist, don't you think it would be in the best interest? And this is not only happening in America, because a lot of times you Americans think America's the whole world. I'll just be honest with you. Yeah. It's happening all over the world. Yeah. Don't you think that it would make logical sense to like kind of step away from being xenophobic, even if it was for a period of time, to recognize that, bro, we are all being undermined at the same time. We are all being subjugated at the same time. But bro, that's not true because guess what? Yeah, there's a lot of FBA platforms who
that's also been ran by CIA.
Bro, you gotta let me finish. They consistently target against tethers. So, like, what have you got to say about that? And that's open to everybody.
Do y'all know what a tether is? Do you know what a tether is?
I know what they mean when they say that.
A tether is a turncoat. In America, a turncoat is a motherfucker who played both sides. Bro, he played both sides. He was cool with this side too. Bro. And he went over there, he was cool with that side too.
Bro.
Listen.
Bro,
Let me tell you, can I explain?
Bro, you have to wait, bro. Like, this isn't your show. All right, I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be respectful. You're a Black guy. I'm a Black guy. I want us Black guys to have an understanding, but you can't just overrun and overtake. It don't go like that. I built my platform on my own without no one's help. Like, honestly, yeah. So as I was saying, yeah, I'm gonna unmute you, Cool. So as I was saying, yeah, boom. When I've listened to these other people, because you're one person, you might look at that and at that word and think, oh, it's a turncoat, it's this, is that. But guess what? When you go and listen to these other people, and when they're talking in their groups, it's not one person I'm talking about, it's loads of groups. They're just talking about any black person that's not from America.
Yeah.
And yes, they do, bro. Yes, they do.
Can I answer?
But let someone else speak as well, bro. Let someone. Is anyone else got a thought?
I would like to
Can I just answer that though? Can I answer that one thing?
Go ahead.
Is it cool? Listen, black people in America, we dealt with other black people from all over. They came over here and they rode with the ones who had the power. The ones who had the power told them not to mess with the black Americans because we are the original people of this land. Y'all get what I'm saying? So when y'all came over here, when the other people came over here, they shitted on us. We like, bro, we want all y'all. We all black people. We all one. Throughout the 80s, we did that. We got that. Throughout the 80s, all of our black music, explained that we loved all our people from all over the world, but they couldn't keep us together. They didn't want us together. They didn't want us together.
I agree with you that the whole idea to divide and conquer, that I do agree with that.
Right. That's why we couldn't trust too many people.
But at the
look
same
at the movie
time,
Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton showed y'all what it was. The movie Fred Hampton was exactly what it was. We had the black community coming together, the Black Panthers in different states. Then turn around, they had a black European come over here and play the snake.
Do you go to these? To these groups that like to talk crap about black people outside of America? Do you go and teach them not to be like that, not to hate?
No. Oh, I teach all my people.
No, but you're in America though. But you're in America.
Protect the children. In America, I'm a target in America. A black man in America is the target. You forgot?
What's that
all of everybody that every state, every country that America beefs with.
What's that got to
every country?
Bro. What's that? You're saying you're a target, and I'm not gonna even argue that, because as black men in particular, we don't have no friends. I've really got a very good understanding of that. Very good understanding.
Right. I agree.
But what I'm saying to you, but what I'm asking you, what I asked you is, do you go, since you're in America and you are the Native Americans, right? Do you go in this present day and age? Do you go to those groups of those Americans, those black Americans? I'm not telling you to go talk to non-black people. Talking to people in your community that talk crap about other black people and call them tethers and all of this stuff. Do you go and educate them on why that's wrong?
Of course we do. We came up under Islam. We came up under Islam. The conscious community had all backgrounds of black people. Doesn't matter what religion you was talking about, what gang you was in. We came up under all that. Turn around, they had to send people into our community to break us up. The Black Panthers got broken up because they had people who looked like us from Canada, who had people who looked like us, and they came in and they was giving up our position.
Listen, bro.
They was getting us wiped out.
Like it's a war, bro. But the thing is, as people that wasn't even around in them times, and people who have the internet and information.
Don't forget, we still the children of those people.
Bro,
my father was born 1960, bro. My father was born in 1960, bro.
I'm not talking to your dad. I'm talking to you, though.
But I had to deal with that. Well, my father dealt with. I got to deal with that now. I got two sons.
And guess what? I didn't even have a dad at all. So at the end
but
of the
here's
day,
the thing, you still your father, though.
At the end of the day, yeah, I'm talking to you. What your dad did, if you had a dad that was no good, blah blah blah, that's unfortunate. But bro, at the end of the day, you're a man now.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
You're a man, and you've got your
here
own
in
sense,
America,
your own mind,
we
your
were
own
strong.
logic. Bro.
Here in America,
you
we
can't
fought
use
for
that as an
us.
excuse forever.
Here in America, we fought for us. The black man, we were the brothers. We stuck for each other. In jail, I did 5 years and 9 months in jail. In jail, blacks stick with blacks, whites stick with whites, Mexicans stick with Mexicans. We do not party. We do not do none of that shit together. Outside of jail, we all gotta work the same job together.
I don't care.
We gotta work in the same building together.
To jail, bro. I don't care. Listen,
listen to what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying.
That don't impress
listen what I'm saying.
You shouldn't even have brought that up.
It's not about the jail part. Not about the jail part. I'm talking about the culture wise. Why blacks can't be around each other. It's a reason why blacks can't be around each other, because we're not all the same people. Remember, during slavery, they forced people outside of their traditions. In Africa, everybody got their own traditions in that.
Let someone else speak. Anyway, let someone else speak.
That does not mean.
No, you're right. You're right. Go ahead. Yo, somebody else speak. Somebody speak. Somebody speak. Somebody else speak. Hey, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When you speak, when you speak, bro, speak highly, man. Don't just go off of what I just said and y'all not getting what I'm understanding, man.
Let someone
else. You want to be the loudest in the room. Doing all that barking.
If I could, I like to speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Richie's first. Before we start on the whole FBA thing, I like to say that Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I like to say that what Carmelo Anthony got was That was definitely overzealous. That was not a correct sentencing. If most he's probably
correct because it wasn't premeditated.
Hold on. Yeah. One voice, please.
At most, probably should have got a second-degree manslaughter. Probably should have got around 15 years tops.
Okay.
But in Texas, the murder statute in the state of Texas in the United States defines that you intentionally cause bodily harm or injury or death. And that's what they banked it on. They banked it on the fact that they said that Carmelo did not have the right to use lethal force to Austin Metcalf's aggressive push. They said that was not proportional of use of force. And I can understand that being debated in court, but regardless of the fact, it should not have been a all-white jury, which that will probably be appealed on the basis of it being all-white jury.
Yeah.
So it's going to be appealed, and even if it isn't appealed,
I was told that the jury, the jury was all non-black, but like there was like I guess like other non-black, non-white people in the jury, and they're like older people. So which really and truly makes no difference because there's no black representation there. So that it was totally unfair.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a whole bunch of
10% of that city is black. Frisco, Texas, only 10%.
Yep, but there's a whole bunch of janky stuff during the trial, and even if the city, you're right, it is only 10%, which would mean 1 out of the 12 jurors, but even still, that would still mean that. It would have one. But regarding the FBA thing, I did want to say that there is evidence. I want to go into that. There is rudimentary evidence of there being black tribes here. The Yamasee, for example, the Gullah Geechee. There's evidence of there being black tribes and there being Mongoloid tribes. There are the Asian-looking Native Americans. So there's evidence of both of that. But if you want to stay current day, I think really the whole separation between foundational Black Americans and immigrant Black people or different castes of Black people is the whole thing with a lot of the disrespect that foundational Black Americans thought that immigrants were pointing towards them. And I think
I hear that a lot. I hear that from a lot of Black Americans.
It's a real thing.
A lot of Black Americans, and I don't doubt that. Obviously, things have been said, but I think that the door swings both ways. I think that a lot of times when I hear Black Americans talk about this, a lot of times it's made out to be one-way traffic. And I just don't believe it, especially as for the fact, again, my experience is quite unique, as in, I've obviously grown and raised in London. So I've seen, Africans and Caribbeans kind of have go against each other. And then I've gone to America and I've seen, how American culture on its own. And then I've seen how Black Americans treat other Black people from outside. So when I hear these depictions of all these immigrants come and then they're just rude to us and blah blah blah, bro, like let's be real, like the door swings both ways.
I get that, Richie, but I do want to say this: Black Americans are definitely
riches,
like riches, like gold and riches.
Yeah, not Richie.
Yeah, not Richie.
Okay, I said riches.
You said Richie, sir.
You said Richie. Go ahead. But anyway, go on.
Okay, sorry. I'll call you host. The one thing that I can say is that Black Americans are far more unified than any other group outside the diaspora. I think when you look at the groups in the Caribbean who don't even own their own property, and mostly it's owned by Chinese and American nationalists, and when you look at the groups in Africa like Nigeria,
what's that got to do with what I just said?
I'm saying that when you're saying that Black Americans aren't unified and that we don't treat each other well, we treat each other much better. I never said Black
Americans. I said Black people.
Okay, black people. I mean, but if you're looking at black people worldwide, you would need to start one with the fact that most of the African and Caribbean countries don't own their own resources. That would be where we would need to start.
Well,
before we would
so
talk
what's
about
that got to do with
interspecies.
black? What would that mean to Black Americans when Africans or Caribbeans come to the country and then they start getting called tethers and African booty scratchers and all this other kind of stuff? Like,
I think
what's
that
that
what
got
you're,
to
I
do with
think
it? Like,
I think what you're seeing is a hostile reaction to years of pent up anger that foundational Black Americans have been feeling. And I'm not saying that it's all justified, but understand that it comes from years of seeing immigrants, particularly immigrants in high political positions, do Black Americans wrong. Like take Obama, for example, he's descended from an immigrant. Or take, what's her name, Kamala Harris, she's descended from an immigrant. Or Kamine Jean-Pierre, she's descended from an immigrant.
so whose fault is that? Whose fault is that then?
Kamala's a mixed Black American.
I'm not saying it's not Black Americans' fault.
She's of Asian descent, though.
Kamala Harris is of mixed descent.
She identifies as Black, but she's of Asian descent.
She's of Jamaican and Asian descent.
Okay.
So she's mixed race. So she's mixed race.
Yeah, so she's not.
But she claims to be Black when it benefits her, though. Because that's the thing about it.
Yeah, but let me make a point about that. This is the thing. In the UK, we don't call mixed race people Black. We call them mixed race because it avoids confusion. The only people really that call mixed race people Black are Black Americans.
No, correct.
Because
anybody that identifies as Black, we call them Black.
Here's the thing.
We have
You
the
see
one
law
drop
that like
rule,
one, exactly. One drop of Black makes you Black. That's where it comes from.
Exactly.
Remember,
So that's
in America,
why.
It's less about not being white, not being Black.
But that's why you've got Kamala Harris. She can basically turn the switch whenever she wants and say, "Oh yeah, actually I'm Black." If you lot was just like, okay, mixed race is mixed race, then she wouldn't be able. That whole dynamic wouldn't exist.
But then we get mad at Rachel Dolezal for cosplaying as a Black woman. So she said she identifies as Black.
But Barrington, please finish your point, Barrington. Go on.
Yeah.
Mr. Richards, I did also want to say that Nigerian Americans identify as Nigerian American.
Yep.
And Jamaicans identify as Jamaican.
They don't want to be called Black.
There's no, they don't want to be called Black. So there's no reason that
don't call me Black. Yep.
That freedmen in the United States, or what you call foundational Black Americans, we're known as freedmen, legally speaking, because we are freed Black people. We're known as freedmen speaking legally, but foundational Black Americans, there's no reason that they can't identify.
But the reason why this is the thing, and that actually is actually quite prevalent in the UK as well, because a lot of Black people in the UK, we are first generation British, Black British rather.
Yeah.
Like me, I was born in London, the capital, right? Both my parents was not born here. Both my parents didn't grow up here. Both my parents, their first language is not English. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's very common here, whether they're Caribbean or African.
Right.
Well, can I speak?
Whereas, and I'm sure it's the same. It's the same dynamic, because a lot of times us black people here, a lot of Black people who are first generation, etc., we don't really call ourselves British like that. If you was to ask someone, if you was to ask someone, where do you come from? If you was just to come to London, and then you started just asking Black people that you come across, where do you come from? They're not gonna say I'm British. They're gonna say where their parents come from. So it's not surprising that same dynamic would be in America either. It's not surprising.
It's no different when we're in the hood. We're in the neighborhood. We like, yo, where you from? Girl, I'm from Baltimore City because of how I talk. So people say, you from Baltimore? I can tell from how you say two and how you say dog and stuff like that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. No. But
our one's different because the us first generations that are born in the UK, we all sound the same.
Right.
Exactly.
We all sound the same. But if you ask us where do you come from,
identify
then we'll say
as British,
Jamaica,
is what you saying,
Nigeria, Ghana, wherever it is.
Right.
But we wasn't even born there.
Right.
But we would
Caribbean.
say that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
We're American. We're freedmen.
Yeah, but but the reason why I even said that is because a couple of you were saying, the Jamaicans that were born in America will say I'm American Jamaican, or Jamaican and Nigerian
There's a
American,
reason.
etc., etc.
Well,
But I was
we
trying to
do
say
say
it's
that.
the same here. It's the same in the UK. It's the same thought process. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like foreign. It's not like
They would more so say, they wouldn't necessarily say that they are. They would say, I'm Jamaican American. So they would be first generation Jamaican Americans. That's what they would say. They would say, I'm Caribbean American, or I'm African American, as in like in African nations per se.
Because you got to remember, we know they don't. In their household, their parents are their cultures there. Their actual original heritage cultures in the household. Now, if those kids go and have kids now, they're gonna be more American. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the same way for me as well. If I have a kid with my girl and born and raised here, well, I sound like I'm born here. I'm pretty much cultured. I've got my parents' culture, but I'm probably more British culture than anything. Then I have a kid. The kid's pretty much. The kid can say they're Nigerian, whatever, but really and truly, you're more British than I am. Do you get what I'm saying?
So in America, everything is black and white, because black people and white people are the only two people in America that are fully assimilated. And look, a lot of black people, most of us can't tell you where we came from outside the United States, and most white people can't. Which is why African American was one of the dumbest things they ever created, because I know Africans who are Americans now. Black people are black people, white people are white people. That's why everything's black and everything's white in America.
Correct. But that's why our grandparents told us who we were. Our grandparents told us who we were. Like, babe, don't call yourself a nigga. Don't call yourself black. Don't call yourself a color. We are from who we are as a tribe, and people outside of us where we from the 60s and 70s, we knew we was indigenous to the Americas. We knew who we were as our tribe. Our Cherokee tribe, our Lakitawaya tribe. My dad is a Blackfoot from Ohio, from Cleveland, Ohio. He's a Blackfoot Indian.
So let me
Moccasins, you know how much respect they got? Bro, we know who our tribe is.
Let me ask you this. Have you done an ancestry DNA test?
Yeah, I have family members that live up to 100 years old, my G. I have family members that live to 100.
I don't think most
they told us who we were.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you.
They told us who we were.
What was your result? No. What did your DNA say about you, bro?
What you mean?
Like, where does your DNA test say your ancestors come from? Your lineage?
Mostly from the South. From the South, Florida, from Mississippi.
It's not going to say like Florida, Mississippi on there.
Alabama.
It's not going to say that.
Yeah, Mississippi blood. Yeah, Mississippi and blood. We are the indigenous people of America, bro. We are America, the Florida all the way up. Florida all the way up. Listen to me.
Hold on. I gotta ask you this question. Hold on. Everyone quiet, yeah? Bro, so I'm asking you, did you do an ancestry DNA test? And you're saying on the results it said Florida and Mississippi. Is that what you're trying to say, bro?
Ancestry test, bro. I told you, I got
Florida and
on both sides of my mama family. We are the original Carolina Indians.
Those aren't. And it's funny because those are part of the 13 Confederate states. So what are you saying then? If you say you're from Florida,
Before that. Don't just look at that timeline. Don't look at that timeline. Before that.
What he means is he's doing a genealogy, meaning that a lot of Black Americans, they will go and find the physical tombstones, the documents.
Right.
And usually you can find the people all the way back to
Belhaven, North Carolina, bloodline.
Yeah.
If
you look at DNA, it'll show that our DNA goes back to West Africa, parts of Europe, parts of Asia.
I get it, but I was asking him specifically if he done it, and he said yes.
Yeah, I said my mother done it, bro.
If you didn't understand,
listen,
no, you listen because you got it wrong, bro.
My mother done her DNA test, bro.
No. You listen because you got it wrong, fam. Yeah, I asked you, have you done a DNA, not genealogy? I asked you, have you done a DNA test where they take a swab from you? And then they're gonna assess and find out where exactly does your bloodline come from.
What tribe you come from, yeah.
And then you started talking about Florida and Mississippi. That is not gonna be answers they give you, bro. Simple.
What he's saying is, what African nations are you specifically from when you do a DNA test?
It's not gonna say African, bro. I don't have no African in my blood.
No, like if
you just heard the brother say Freeman, right?
You are Moroccan.
You just heard the brother say Freeman, right?
Bruh,
did you hear the brother say Freeman?
Bro,
did you hear the brother named Freeman say Freeman?
You identify U.S. territories, bro. He's talking about if you are from a portion of you is from Cameroon, a portion of you is from.
You didn't hear what I just said? That's what he means. Whole entire Caribbean Isle, all the way up to Maryland, is considered the West Indies, bro. My family is from Mississippi, from Belhaven, North Carolina, but we're the Carolina Indians. The Carolina Indians was kidnapped, taken down to the Caribbeans, bro, and we was fighting alongside the gang
about something I didn't ask you though. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You said
I was never arguing, bro. I was making my statement. I was making my claim. I was making my claim.
You're talking about something
that's like going to Egypt and say, bro, where you originally from? And then they only talk about the part where Egypt was invaded by.
No, bro.
You said you from Florida.
I asked you a simple question. The question I asked you was very simple, and you went somewhere else. You diverted to something else that you want to talk about because it makes you feel like your point's more valid. But you're not talking about what I asked you. I asked you a very simple question. Everybody else on the panel understands what I'm saying. Everybody else understands what I'm saying, bro. Like, everyone in the chat understands what I'm saying. And guess what? Most of the people watching and everyone on the chat are American.
Most Americans don't do DNA tests. To be honest, most of them don't.
Shit, I didn't do my shit. I taught a family that was always 80 years old.
We're told by our ancestors where we come from, and we leave it at that. Most Americans do not do a DNA test. Yeah, when it comes to your bloodline and your kid, you might do a DNA test when you're dealing with a chick or something like that. But most Americans don't do a DNA test. They're told by their mom and their dad where they possibly come from, and that's it.
But that's it at the most, though. That's a
no, it ain't.
Okay? Now you can go online and do a DNA test.
Yeah. If you take
that is not a guess,
but for the most part, that's why they call it
because a lot of you $5 Indians went down there and tried to steal our land. We had family that had land, bro, and our family was getting murdered and killed, and their land was getting stolen, and they were pushing the family away.
Yo, you gotta listen, bro. Like, bro,
I'm listening. I'm listening.
All right, cool. Then, like, please. Let me just read the.
Can I also finish what I'll be saying though?
No, bro.
King, why is he still here? King, come on,
bro. Like, if you carry on doing that, I'm gonna have to drop. I don't want to drop you, but I'll have to, innit? Because you're not listening.
Why would you drop me, bro? That's crazy.
You're talking when you don't need to be talking. I asked you to stop.
Well, if you're talking to me and I'm talking back,
all right, bro. I have to drop you.
He's that
guy's jarring,
Thank you
bro.
so
He's
much.
Annoying, bro. I tried to be nice, and it didn't
no, we
work,
got
so
you,
that's
bro.
That, bro.
Yeah,
Florida and Tennessee.
I said, where does your DNA come from? He said Florida and Mississippi, bro. Like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? It's calm.
I'm Black American.
Let me just shout out the super chats, guys. Hold on 1 sec.
Go ahead.
Big up to Ben Shaw. He says, black people are tribal. Long story short, made short. Big up to Ben Shaw. Big up to A London. He says, my support to another brother, aka King Rich, is well deserved. Rate the content, versatility, very underrated. Keep up the good work. Big up to A London. Big up to Spice Jab. He says, don't be an egg, like the video. Salute King, appreciate you. And big up Calvin. He says, why does bro need a UK translation to US? Bro doesn't listen, and he definitely took a US hood DNA test.
Exactly. You said Florida and Tennessee. We're not talking about U.S. territories. We're talking about continents and African nations. We're not talking about U.S. territories. It's deeper than that. But go ahead.
Yeah, but
I just want to say,
go on.
Fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Most successful, competitive, ambitious black people, they'll tell you that the cohesiveness of the black nation is severely overstated. A lot of the times you will get it worse from your own people. And
I agree.
So this thing where, I see a black person and I'm automatically going to trust them, or no, you don't want to do that, guys. You really don't. I think always has been, in the present and in the future, the state of black nation and brother, sister is severely overstated. And one of the best things you can do is leave that whole thing behind, because you will get snaked the worst by your own people. I'm sorry.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
And it's like that everywhere, bro. Like, even in London, bro, like, bruh, it's bad vibes. I don't know if you lot have ever heard that, but London is bad vibes. right?
Yeah.
Killed or be
As in
killed.
people, they're not happy to see you succeed. They're not happy for you. In fact, they
I
they
agree.
want to try and pull you down. If they can find a way, they will do it, bro. Like, they try to undermine you and make you feel like whatever you've got is crap. That's how it is, bro. Like,
and Riches, I'll tell you how black people treat quote unquote tethers is how they treat. If your version of blackness doesn't fit what they see on TV, or you're not good, you get the same thing as tether treatment. You know, let's say you're a nerd, you like Star Trek, or you get good grades, or you come from a good family. You get tether treatment if you were born here in the United States and you're black.
so you're saying, so you're saying, if you don't fit the mold, the black stereotypical hip hop gang, super Tyrone or whatever stereotypes, basically you're outcasted.
Yep. You get outcast.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Okay.
But wait a minute. That's because black nerds have not overran the stupid people. I mean, if you want to be honest,
that's true.
It's just like
Facts.
Judge Joe Brown says. We have not overrun the dumb people in our group. I mean, we really.
But there's too many dumb people compared to the smart ones, though.
But
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
They got the biggest voice. I would say they have the biggest voice.
So we got to link up with each other. I mean, it really comes down to it.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know what?
Once you find another black nerd, you guys got to connect and stay friends and stuff.
I think that it's like that because the obviously we're in non-black countries. Let's keep it real. We're minorities.
Yeah.
Right? So the dominating class, they don't want everyone to be smart and in academic and logical and linking up and actually making moves. They don't. That's why the people who are dumb, they're incentivized. They're given more money. And you know, it's through media, etc. They're giving more platform. They, you know, for instance, like I always used to complain about, oh yeah, my channel doesn't grow that quick and blah blah blah. If I was a rapper, if I was some athlete, you know, I'd be getting all pushing the algorithm, and that's real.
Yeah, if you were a felon talking about prison and stuff like that, if you had a bunch of baby mamas, you have like 300,000 subs, King Riches.
Easy.
Not even. Exactly.
And it's unfortunate. Go on.
So look at it for if you're a successful, competitive, ambitious black person, don't try to help Black America. Help yourself first. Then maybe when you're 50, 60, about to retire, or you have your castle put together, then try to help black people. And also, we're the only group of people where we ostracize our best and brightest when they're young. And then when they get a highly valued skill, trade, or education, expect them to give back to the community for pennies or the dollar or for free. It's garbage. No, guys, Black Americans, you don't own Black America. Nothing.
I made it a fact. Yeah.
Right, can I speak on that? Can you guys hear me? I'm new.
Yeah, go ahead. Man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. I'd say that the nerd issue. Okay, that's more of a US thing because like. I did pretty well at school, and I'm from London. I'm like King Rich's Nigerian born, but like in my community, I was actually supported. In my community, that's what I found anyway.
And you're Nigerian, yeah?
Yeah, Nigerian.
Would you say okay? Obviously, I can relate. Yeah, I would say especially like Nigerian African culture, you know, being academic is praised, like in the home and like in the general culture, but. As in, like, you know, like Black British culture, would you say that was praised?
It wasn't praised. No, you still had to be cool. Like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. You had to be cool.
Wait, say that again.
You could be a quote unquote nerd. Like you could get your homework done, yeah. But you still have to have that image. You need to carry yourself a certain way and talk a certain way, like
rough around the edges.
Rich is undefeated, would you say? Man.
A little bit.
Undefeated.
What's that?
Me?
A little bit rough around the edges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
you still gotta have that.
Tupac in a suit.
You go, Tupac in a suit. Exactly, Tupac in a suit.
Like you said,
he gets his. He always gets his
Richard,
homework done.
You said, just be perfect, bro.
Just be perfect, bro.
Hey,
when
I know that. I know, you know, black men, like you said in one of your other like previous streams, like black men are the only men that have to just be like perfect in every which way in order to get a shot at almost everything in life. Black men are the only ones.
when I say take over, I mean that, like, for example, we have Atlanta, right? But you see a lot of this hood bullshit coming out of Atlanta, like Power and like guys like 50 Cent paying to make productions. I'm saying that it has to be black nerds like that used to be like Robert Townsend that would step up and make some more black productions like Donald Glover gave us with Atlanta, the TV show. And in Britain, there needs to be an Atlanta too. There needs to be an offset for black British people to be able to go to their entertainment industry separate away from white folks, and that they can make their money separately.
Yeah, because
that's one thing I do give black Americans.
Yeah, like Mohammed, I'm sure you can attest to what I'm saying. Like, if you look at black British media, I mean, what is black British media really? It's the usual stereotypes, drugs, gang, football.
Oh God,
that's literally it. Drugs and even the comedians, even the guys that you see are comedians, they're like exaggerated caricatures of stereotypes all the time, every single time.
Ruckus, just Uncle Ruckus types, man. Like, it's just. And I saw a guy in Hackney today, a mate, and we were talking about the football, and he was like, "Yeah, man, we've got the blackest England team like ever now, man. I'm going to support the England team now." It's just like that's all we care about. It's just sports, man. It's just
that's all. And it's true. If you're outside of that, if you're outside of the matrix, let's say, then it's like you're weird.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna ask the British guys on the panel, because here, so only 12% of America is black. A lot of states, Mississippi has the most amount of black people at 33%, right? Like Washington State, Montana are like less than 2% black, right? And unfortunately, if you're black people in a predominantly white area, especially when you're young, white people will celebrate, especially in like school and college, they'll celebrate black women being ratchet, and they'll celebrate black guys being hood criminals. So like the hood guys will get the black girls and the white girls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what I'm saying? So like, is it like that in Britain where, I don't know if you guys have lived in like a predominantly white area in Britain, but like, is hood culture celebrated by white people like it is over here?
It's not celebrated, but like, if you want to do well with the white girls, you need to be like either good at sport or just, you need to have a cool factor. You need to have it.
You need a superpower.
Yeah.
You need a super.
Hey, put on the tape,
like you need to be.
Fly,
and another thing, especially if you're dark skinned, you need a super. Oh my God, you're dark skinned, bro. You better be tall.
What you say? They like the Chris Brown, the Chris Brown tint of color.
More time, and I've said this before on videos before. A lot of times when these non-black girls, they say, I like black guys, they like mixed race guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Or is some tall, dark skin,
half black, half whatever. Yeah.
Yes, or some tall, dark skin guy, tall, like.
Yeah, bro. Like King Richard, guys, I went to uni. There were two black guys at uni. I went to like a really white uni. The two black guys at uni who like did really well with the girls, like they were exceptional. Like the white people didn't think they were exceptional, but I knew they were exceptional. One guy turned out to be a model. And one other guy was like one of the best rugby players in the country. Like, and he was mixed race as well. But like to the white girls, they were just, oh yeah, so and so. Like,
and that's another aspect I've talked about on video. Like a lot of times when you're a black guy, like, and you live in a predominantly white area, it can make you feel like you're ugly. When actually in the real world, when you get out of there, you're actually not ugly. You're actually all right. You're actually doing okay. But when you're in them environments, it can make you feel like you're just mid. Do you get what I'm saying? Or less?
In my secondary school, I went to like a really white secondary school, and then I went to a more mixed one. As soon as I went to a more mixed one, it was night and day the difference in the attention I got.
I grew up in like the Pacific Northwest, right? And so two of my high school friends, they were these tall, darker skinned black guys, and they both went to the University of Montana in Helena, right? And they're like, WMPA, you got to come out here. The basketball team and the football team are the only black guys on campus, and they were cleaning the house, bro. They were cleaning. Just because literally, it was like a college with like 17, 20, 30,000 people, and the football team and the basketball team were the only black guys on campus. I went out there, I couldn't believe it.
But they had the added factor of being athletes, though.
Yeah.
Because I done college football in America, and bruh, like, I'll just be real. Like, obviously, I was on the football team, so that was my clique, that was my gang. And then every time they always made me be roommates with a basketball player. So then it's like I saw their lifestyle and how their dynamic, and bro, like when you're an athlete, when you're an athlete in college, when you're an athlete in college, bruh,
that's common. They do that.
But
you're gonna sleep
Lane
with
Kiffin
girls.
said it.
You're gonna sleep with a lot of girls you meet the same day a lot. That's
crazy.
normal. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Because remember, what's it on Saturday afternoon? Everyone comes to watch the game, and like, oh man, that's a wrap, bro.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin actually said that he left Ole Miss for LSU, and he said that leaving he couldn't convince black kids to go to Ole Miss, which is in Oxford, Mississippi, is because it's racist as hell. So that's why he went to LSU. He's the head coach of the LSU football team, D1 football team, because he couldn't recruit a lot of the best black kids to go to Ole Miss. The Ole Miss is in Oxford, Mississippi, and it's super racist and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
The sad part about it is, look, guys.
And media tried to destroy him for that, by the way.
Of course
ESPN, ABC, they tried to destroy him for that.
Yeah, they got to do the Uno reverse. What do you mean? Oh, you're racist now. Oh, he's the racist now.
Yeah,
like, bro. Like,
yeah. As soon as they miss a pass, don't catch a pass, or they don't catch the game with an interception or somewhere like that, they start calling me N-word and all this other stuff.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here. Hell, you see it in the pros in the NFL. You know what happened. You know, NBA, what happens, you know? So it's crazy. And I'm kind of curious as to if that happens in the UK with UK sports and stuff like that, or other parts of the world, like the World Cup is going on now, you know. Well, it happens. All over.
I remember not too long ago, I think it was a couple years ago when the
2021
penalties, the England penalties, and then like some of the black players, they missed their penalty and they got started getting called monkeys and their shit and blah blah, and it got very racist very quickly, bruv.
Yeah.
But when they were playing good, that's our boys. But as soon as they fuck
think
up,
about this, Riches.
You miss a penalty, you're a monkey now. Do you get what I'm saying?
Remember,
it's crazy. We have to live up
Joe
to the
Lewis.
stereotype. Like, that's how it is.
Remember back in the Olympics when Joe Lewis won the gold medal against Germany in the Olympics before World War II? All those instances where, America was super racist until we won gold medals against Nazi Germany. Remember that? All of a sudden, let's get behind the black American. But outside of that, dude, they were cooking us back in the day.
But you know,
but if you check it out,
do you know my opinion about sports now? Yeah, like pro sports, like whether it's the Olympics or basketball, football,
World Cup,
I just think that it's kind of like a slave market.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a slave market.
Well, hell, Jerry Jones experienced that. He's first and foremost, he's part of that code. But
absolutely.
So
Jones, Dallas Cowboys,
bro, like, I did sports my whole life. That's all I wanted to do from like when I was young. And now as an adult and at the other end of it, and now I'm looking at it and having a better understanding of, like, it's not just playing the sport. There's more to it, bruv. Do you get what I'm saying? And then you start to understand that, bro, like, most of it, we put all our blood, sweat, and tears, we put our lives on the line, risking injury that could change our lives. You know, most of us won't make it. Do you get what I'm saying? We're going to waste all our best years to try and do something that only a handful of people are going to ever make it. Even me being in America, there were so many boys that I knew that were fast, great athletes, and they didn't make it. Now they're just there. They're just floating.
You spent years of your life too.
There's no plan B.
Just to be told you're not good enough.
Yeah, you're not good enough. And these were guys that were stars in high school. Stars.
That's
stars,
crazy, dude.
As a former,
and then all the women
athlete
around you want you to make it. Oh, well, why can you make it? Why are you watching Dak Prescott in the Super Bowl? Let alone that won't ever happen. But why are you watching Dak Prescott when that could have been you? It's like, dude, it's.
I'll be real. I don't even watch American football anymore. From when I stopped playing it, I stopped watching it, bro. Stop watching it.
The guys that got so rich and so lazy at the same time. It's like
the guys that they recruit tend to be dudes that are yes men. Like I had a cousin that was recruited in the NFL, and he was completely effed up in college. He did drugs. He got into it. He had an abortion with a chick, and he almost got kicked out of school for a rape charge. But my
Don't
point
say
is
that word.
that they look
say grape. Don't say the R
say
word.
grape
for a rape charge.
You'll
But
get
the point
censored.
is that they look for people that are yes men or people that they have things over. Look at Stephon Diggs. I mean, they look for people that they know that they have things over, or that you got fetishes for certain things or things like that, because they already know that that's how they're going to be able to pull your card when it comes
control you.
Okay.
Well, Josh Gordon was on like 4 or 5 NFL teams. He could stop doing drugs. I mean, we're talking about sports are all over.
I think that's pretty common. That's pretty common in sport, pro sports. That's pretty.
When I was
crazy.
young, I asked my dad. I said, "My dad is 70 now. My dad was an Olympic alternate in track, and either 84 or 1980. I don't remember which one. And so, like for 800 meter, he went to the Olympic Village, but didn't actually get to run. And so I asked my dad. I said, Dad, why have American Black people embraced sports culturally so much? And my dad said, when he was young, anything that could be judged, you weren't going to get a fair shake by white people. But if you could run the fastest, if you could lift the most, if your team could win something in sport, it was undeniable. Understand what I'm saying?
That can't be taken away from you.
So that's where Black Americans culture of sport comes from, because if we're the best team in the city, you can't take the. If I can run the fastest on the track, if I can throw that shot put the furthest, you can't take that away from me.
Well, look at it in the Olympics as well. You know, America's supposed to garner gold medals. Anything less than that is you're a loser, or you didn't win. You know
what's funny?
There is no second place.
It's funny you said that, because I remember while I was still in college and that, and I went to Ross. You know Ross, the department store, And I must have bought a cheap Nike T-shirt, and it said second place is for losers. And I thought that was such a funny T-shirt. And I used to love that T-shirt. But now when I think about it, that's a crazy thing to say.
That's mad, bro. That's literally what it is.
Losers.
You can't win if you won the bronze medal. You know, you gotta take gold. I mean, it's all over sports media even now. Like they're talking about the Americans dominating Paraguay in the fucking World Cup. You know, they just beat them like 4-0.
Guys, let me change the space, because we talk about sports a lot, and we're gonna do that forever.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about something. Change the pace here. And now I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it! I forgot what I was gonna say.
Religion.
Okay, cool. So obviously you guys are American, yeah. Would you agree that most Black Americans think that America is the whole world?
Okay.
It depends.
The biggest problem with a lot of Black Americans is we're only concentrated in certain places, and a lot of us never leave. So, like, I'm in the DMV, DC area. I've met people here who've never left this area, and like, I've lived in like 11 different states, and I try to tell people that like Blacks aren't everywhere. They don't believe me. I'm like, guys, go to Montana, go to South Dakota. There are whole states where there are no Black. Oh, that's not true. So the biggest problem is that they don't travel anywhere at all. Like a lot of Blacks
outside of their general area.
Yeah, I'm talking outside their block, Riches.
That's crazy.
That won't leave DC, won't leave Chicago, won't leave New York, won't leave Atlanta.
Won't leave the block.
Because the reason why I ask that, the reason why I ask that, because it goes back to the topic of this show, that Black people can't get along, and a lot of times when I've heard, because sometimes I literally just sit in those live streams where I hear the Black Americans talking about, you tethers this, and they live here and they ain't broke, and they're saying all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, like, you actually don't know what you're talking about, like, or what you're saying is very narrow-minded. What you're saying, like, you don't really have a good understanding, and it's just like, obviously I have the experience of living over there, and then experience that a lot of Black people, they just don't have much understanding outside of America. Like for instance, I remember the first time I ever went to DC, and I remember just being on the street and speaking to a random black person on the street, and it was like, wow, there's blacks in England, and I was like genuinely like, I was like,
So
are you
man.
actually trying to joke around? Are you joking or are you being serious?
Yeah.
Like
See,
of course there's black people. Like why?
See,
Because
Richard,
over here,
I must-
that's over here. We know about you lot. We know about us. We know about you guys. We know about us. We know about Aboriginals. We know about our countries of origin.
A lot of
like
I
do you get what I'm
must say
saying?
though
So
too.
why is it like that?
Even
Don't
in
have that
Africa,
expectation over here, Richard,
let me
because
expand that though, real
You're
quick.
gonna be disappointed. Over and over. Like, hold on.
Hold on.
So,
Let
like,
someone else. Let
if you-
someone else say something.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you have folks who are even in Africa. A lot of folks here don't even think like South Africans can be like they're black, even though they have white pale skin. Like there's no blackness in them. When in their ancestry, they are black, in fact, but they still consider them white. But even in my own right, so I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for like my whole life. I moved to Arizona, Southwest, right? And I told people that I would move like out of my city, all city crime and everything. And they didn't believe me. Oh man, you ain't going nowhere. Oh, you gonna stay right here. This, that. And these are people that have been, they've been on the same block, the same street, the same city, whatever you want to call it, for 15, 20 years. They couldn't believe that you would leave your block to go somewhere where you don't have any ancestry as far as like family members that live in that particular area. They don't believe in leaving their own city or state or town to go somewhere else.
I hear the point you lot are making about a lot of people don't travel. I get it. I hear that point. But bro, that's the same here. Like most black people are not doing, touring the whole world, bro. They're not doing around the world in 80 days, bro. But we still know about black people in America, black people in Australia, black people in the Caribbean, black people in Africa. Like we still know
South Africa, yeah.
So,
but I think part of it could be economic as well.
To me, bro. So to me, that's not really an excuse why you don't know, because we live in the age of information, bro.
Yeah,
it's an American.
That's not really
American
an excuse.
exceptionalism, King Richard.
It's because America is a superpower. That's the reason.
Speak up. Speak louder.
America is very
your volume's low. Your volume's low. I don't know.
It's because America's a superpower. That's why. It's very influential. So like they're the ones that control a lot of the media outlets and everything. A lot of companies come from America. And a lot of people they get their sources from America. America controls a lot of things. So that's the thing.
Yeah, 72% of the world's economy flows through the United States.
And 69% of the world's media outlets come from us.
Yep.
Okay, but that's still not an excuse why you don't know about. I mean, you're saying these things. Listen. I understand what you're saying, bro. I understand what you're saying. But we live in the age of the access to information is everywhere, bro. Like you can't, you being ignorant or not knowing stuff. That's on you. That's really on you. Like either you didn't care or you wasn't told. Like it's one of the two. Like so, what I'm asking is, which one is it? Which one do you not believe it is?
Well, white Americans don't know about other places that much. They only know about Ukraine and barely. I mean, for real.
But the black people, but they're not the ethnic minority, so to speak, though. So it would be probably your best
part of it, I think, is economic, though, too.
What?
Part of it can be an economical problem. We don't represent most of the wealth in this country, so we don't have access to be able to go out and like explore. So a lot of times we're stuck in our neighborhoods, or maybe our cities, our towns. And also, from a mental standpoint, we're stuck in our specific area, as in like mentally. So we don't open ourselves up to other ideas and opportunities. So then when we see a fellow brother exercise his thinking process as like outside of his house, his neighborhood, like I was saying kind of earlier, then we think that that's foreign, unless you've opened your mind up to like, there's more places in the world than just where I'm at. You know, economics can play a part in that. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like your money and stuff like that, but also opening your mind up to different ideas and thoughts that go on outside of your city.
So
have any of you guys traveled to Europe?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I have
been
not,
to Ireland.
yeah.
I've been to Ireland. I've been to France. I've been to Portugal. I've been to Cameroon, Ghana, Equatorial Guinea, South Africa.
Hold on, you went to Ireland, then you went to France. You didn't come to London. You didn't come to UK.
Wow.
You literally went to Ireland and jumped over to go France.
Well, I want to go to London.
Why would you do that?
Belfast, but I didn't come over to London.
He said, "Nah, skip nah." That'll be on
Bro,
next
that's
itinerary.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Island.
British
he said,
food.
nah.
British
what
food
would
is
make you
trash.
pick to
That's
go?
why British food.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
Would you say
that-
British food is trash? Did he say
there's
that?
It is. Dude,
reason
come
that-
on.
I'm from the
Well,
UK.
there's a
I'm
reason
from the
that-
UK myself.
There's a reason that
I'm
Black
actually Nigerian as
Americans
well, so
aren't really. There's a reason that
relate a
Black
lot with
Americans
King
aren't
Richard.
interested in the African diaspora. I mean, the African diaspora hasn't really given us anything to be interested in. The African diaspora doesn't have nuclear arms in 2026.
Diaspora.
Okay, diaspora doesn't have arms and nuclear arms in 2026. They don't have a modern economy. They seemingly haven't got half of their populations out of poverty. There's not really much for us to be enthusiastic about over there. And in the Caribbean, it's even worse, where they don't own their own beaches, they don't own their own property. I mean, if we were fans of China,
do you think the typical Black American is thinking about all of that?
I'm saying that there isn't a reason for us to be. There isn't a reason for us
I
to
mean,
be.
I hear your point, but the typical
Well, think
Black
about what
American
happened
is
with
not thinking
Burkina.
about all
Well,
of
think-
that crap, bro. I'm just being
Well,
honest.
think about what happened. Well, think about what happened with Burkina Faso when Ibrahim Traore took control and started doing a bunch of revolutionary reforms last year. Black Americans were on board for that 100%, and that's because they saw something that they could, gravitate to. But as for most of the diaspora, I don't think there's nothing there for us to look for, and they haven't proposed anything.
I would agree.
I also say that the diaspora, if you try, so Pan-Africanism is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, dude.
Why? Why would you say that?
I'll say because America is one of the few places where if you come here and you get American citizenship, you are American, right? But it doesn't go the other way around. I can't go to Nigeria, having been born in the United States, and say, "Oh yeah, Nigerian." They're gonna be like, "You are not Nigerian," and they should say that. So Pan-Africanism can't work because you can come here to be American by citizenship, but it's not the other way around. They will tell me I'm not Nigerian. They'll tell me I'm not Ghanaian.
I hear you, but that's okay, cool, yeah. But at the same time, yeah, you got to think about this is just my way of thinking of what's going on currently in the current climate we're living in. You're saying you can say all these things. You don't have your economy high enough. You don't have the resources. You don't have nuclear this and blah blah blah. But guess what? You have Chud the Builder, bro. You've got a lot of people like.
I didn't even know he existed.
As I said at the beginning of this live stream, the thing that people really need to, or Black people need to really be more concerned about, it's not Chud the Builder specifically, but the amount of support guys like that get. Because they're getting because those kind of guys, they're getting all this anonymous donations and all of that. When he was trying to get his bail, a lot of people were trying to get him out of jail, bro. And that was not no small bail amount, bruv. And these are anonymous people. These are people that you live next door to, you work with. Some of them are your bosses.
I went to school with these type of guys, man.
You go to school with them. Your kids go to school with their parents. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, America's full of opportunity and blah, 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 money and all of that stuff. Yeah, but, bro, they still don't. They still don't. The majority of these people don't like you, bro. That's the truth.
Yeah, they don't, man. They don't.
But that's
I think we understand that.
No. Just real fast. Rich is the biggest problem. So I'm 45 years old, right? And the Chud the Builders, they don't surprise me at all. I think it's like a 30 years old and younger, like a Gen Z thing where they were lied to that like America was less racist than it is. But there's still a good percentage of us where I still expect this type of stuff to happen because it's happened most of my life. Like most of us over a certain age It's just Gen Z. They're having to learn what we learned when we were young. This type of stuff happens, and you have to figure out a way to win with those people around. I was not surprised by Chud the Builder. I'm not surprised by all of these people getting all this money. I'm not. It's just the young people are like, oh my God.
Okay, cool. Huh? Do you think you would have an easier time living an easier life being around these Chud the Builder type people and their supporters that are anonymous, you don't know who's who, or if you lived in a predominantly black country outside of America?
I think life is going to be difficult as a man, period, and you have to figure out ways to be successful no matter what the rules are.
Well, which one would you think would be easier?
Wait, so are you saying being in a predominantly white country or being in a predominantly black country?
Where do you think would be like less stressful?
I think where I'm at.
So the biggest thing about white people, though, is white people, they're so easy to figure out because all you have to do is let them talk, and they have this majority, we're the majority thing. I think it's easier to figure out white people and figure out a way around them than like any other group because they just let them talk, Riches. Let them talk, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to know.
I agree. Yeah.
So you'd prefer?
Yeah, I agree with that.
A lot of black people.
So what you're saying is you would. I'm gonna have to start rotating people because a lot of people have been waiting in the background. So if anyone just feels like dropping off, just I can bring you back on. But if you step down, that would be cool. But
I'll drop off.
All right. No, you don't have to completely disappear. You can just step down for a bit or whatever. It's up to you.
No. I was here talking to you, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, cool. No worries, bro. But yeah, I don't know, man. And especially the thing is, hold on, let me bring someone else up. The thing is about it, I think because a lot of black Americans don't travel and don't really have much information about other countries, especially other predominantly black countries, they pretty much just know the propaganda, what they've seen on TV. I think a lot of you may be kind of surprised that in the experience you may have living in a predominantly black country. I think you might be surprised. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying you may be surprised. Because again, most of you lot haven't left America. Let's keep it real.
I have. And I would like to say that I've been to a few different African countries.
Okay.
And why it's cool being there, because it makes you feel like you're with your own folks. The only problem is that they don't have modern utilities or modern economies outside of the major cities. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to go spend all of your money in Lagos, that's one thing. But it's like, other than that, though, you got to be out in the rural areas. And then you start realizing how hard of a life those people are living. Like, it's like, okay, the rural people are living hell out there. And it's like, okay, without the modern day utilities or the modern economy, there's really no way for us to feel safe and comfortable out there.
I'll be real. I fully understand what you're saying. And it is a huge problem. It is a huge issue, actually, to be honest. My thing is this. My mindset is I'm not like trying to say, oh, you black Americans, you need to go and move to Nigeria. God, I'm not saying that, but I really want us to all kind of have at least a base level understanding of each other and understand that we're not all enemies and like there needs to be mutual respect that goes both ways. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that even just what I'm doing right here is the kind of dynamics that need to be consistent and be pushed out there for people of both sides to see that the propaganda's not true. It's not always true, rather, and it's not all FBAs and tethers and Africans and Caribbeans all in conflict. It's not like that. Do you get what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's been socially engineered that we should be at each other's throats. Do you know what I mean? Especially with what we're seeing now in South Africa and now how they're like, being evil they're doing their xenophobic evil stuff like within Africa. And it's just crazy. I just think it's so sad because at the end of the day, there's a lot of non-black people, and it's not all non-black people, but there's a lot of non-black people that are coming out and they're confidently just being horrible and disgusting towards us. as a group, and they don't care whether you're Black American or you're African or you're Caribbean. They just see you're all shit. That's how they look at it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But anyways,
Yeah.
someone else can go. Go on.
Yeah, white America.
Yeah.
white
So I was
Australians,
gonna say
There you
real
go.
quick. Basically, you see, the problem is really religion and slavery. That's literally the problem. If you think about it, right? Religion means to bind. So bind means to like unite. And a lot of people like India, like Asia, they have their own religion, but Africans, they don't have their own religion. So that's why they're not able to unite. And I understand your whole concept about like people having this union and all this stuff. But the thing is, you can't unite when you have no religion. That's a problem. Africans, they practice spirituality. In Australia, they had their own spirituality. They're Aboriginals, right? And then you have America and Jamaica. You got the Caribbean. They have their own Obeah. They have their own spirituality. A lot of it was banned. So there was a lot of oppression. And this is the real truth about the reason why a lot of melanated people are not like in the right position is because of religion and slavery. And the reason slavery is a problem as well is because a lot of people are divided because of that. Like they're saying, oh, Africans, then they gave them to the white man to, you know, become, you know, a slave.
Africans sold us. African sold, because that's, I remember growing up, and a lot of the conflict between Africans and Caribbeans in London, like growing up, and it was oh yeah, you lot sold, the Africans sold us, that's why we don't like you, we hate you. And then I've heard Americans say that, oh, you Africans, but it's just like, I do understand what they're saying, but at the same time, bro, like slavery is all the way around the world, and there's Africans that are enslaved right now. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, white people have enslaved other white people as well.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not the same. It's not the same at all, because
could I speak to the whole cultural thing? Because I keep hearing about it's Black Americans' culture, it's their legacy and their culture. Listen, go back in history and really look at the history of Black Americans in this country. We have literally tried everything to live alongside white Americans in peace. We've tried religion, we've tried education, we've tried music, we've even tried sports. As you mentioned earlier, we've tried a lot of different avenues to try to broaden or to fill the gap of the racial tension in this country, and nothing seems to work.
That is because you're not meant to do that in the first place. You're not actually meant to. You're meant to be individual, independent. That's the problem. That's
okay.
A lot of
understand
people,
that.
They
demonize African spirituality.
Jay, let him finish. Let him finish. Go on.
Please, can I finish? The point that I'm trying to make is that when people say that it's Black American culture, you have to understand something. We're a group of people that was raised under white supremacy. We were slaves. So our culture is technically from white people. It's from white people, if you think about it. Okay.
Would you say that the culture is what the white people allowed you to have?
I'm talking about as far as what we were told to do, as far as us being Christians. We weren't Christians before we were enslaved. There were no Black people who were Christians. That.
Christianity's been around a long time, bro.
I gotta push back on that, bro. They were not.
Christianity was around a long time, bro. In
the Catholic Church was in
Western
Africa.
I understand that.
I think that a lot of people like to act like Christianity was the white man's religion. No, it actually wasn't, bro.
I'm not saying that either, but I'm saying that the Christianity that you're shown in the United States, this stuff that they call the United States Christianity, that wasn't our religion. English is not our language. That's another thing. All the stuff that we were shown as slaves came from white people. We took it and we made our own version of it. This is how you get the Black Southern Baptist Church. This is why you'll have two churches down south, one Southern Baptist white and one Southern Baptist black. And you go into both of those churches and you notice there's a difference in the singing and dancing and how it's implicated. Why? Because we made our own version of it. So my point is that when you talk about Black culture, you have to understand it's a culture that's bastardized that we made our own. We made our own cuisine, our own music, our own form of words, slang, right? Different terms. We made our own version of religion. And we did that all under the guise of white supremacy and not being considered free peoples in America, which is damn good impressive if you think about it. Let's also talk about the fact that we started our own towns post-slavery, post-chattel slavery. The Ealing, Arkansas, the Rosewoods, the Tulsa, Oklahomas. White people love to talk about Black Americans, FBAs don't pull themselves up by their bootstraps, yet they don't talk about the fact that the history in this country have been white people burning down Black towns since day one, okay? That's in history in America. And unfortunately, a lot of non-Black Americans don't know that when they come to this country. They think Black Americans are just lazy. We didn't develop nothing. We didn't build any towns. We sure did build towns, okay? The Ku Klux Klan and their proxies destroyed a lot of Black towns in America. They burnt them down by white mobs. Go look it up.
Can I just say something? Yeah. It's in conjunction with what you're saying. I think I just want to make sure I'm correct. You were saying that a lot of the Black people, like the immigrants that come to America, they think that Black Americans were lazy. Is that what you were saying? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. The thing is that a lot of you lot don't seem to catch on to is that, like, a lot for let's say, for instance, a Nigerian to come to the USA, you do realize that that would be like a 1% person?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That would be a less than 1%.
Yeah, my dad, one of his friends,
what do you mean by that?
Hold on, bro. What I mean is that the kind of people that would be in a position to move to America, not even the UK, they've gone past the UK, they've gone all the way to America to set up a base, yeah? That means that that person would have had considerable resources, and probably they're of a different class.
Yeah, that's true.
So
okay.
they are going to be snobbish to their own people. They're going to be snobbish to everyone. So it wouldn't be that surprising that they would come to America and they would be, or rude, or they would have some certain kind of negative perceptions. They would have negative perceptions about their own people because they're of a certain ilk.
Yeah,
well,
they'd be negative to people in Nigeria.
So my issue is this. The reason why I point that out to you is because whenever I hear the certain rhetoric that comes from a lot of Black Americans, and they talk, you lot come over and say we ain't got no culture, and you all think this, because a lot of times you lot talk like Africa's a monolith, which is not. You Africans come here and blah blah blah, and you say you look down at us, bro. What exact Africans are you talking about? Who exactly, bro?
Well,
what kind of class do they come from? Because guess what? The majority of Nigerians, they don't have money. They don't have the time to be thinking about Black Americans and thinking, they're lazy. They ain't got the time, bro. They're in survival mode.
We're talking about the ones that are here, and again.
The vast majority. But again, in fact, I would go as far as, bro, most Africans, let's even talk like Africa's a monolith for a second, yeah? Most Africans probably they glorify Black Americans. They look up to Black Americans. They want to be you lot. So when I hear like, you Africans look down on us and talk, bro, those examples of those guys that have probably said anything, that is less than 1%. That represents less than 1%. But a lot of times I've heard a lot of you guys go on like that's all Africans are like that, and it's just not true. It's not true.
So we're talking about the ones that are here. You do realize that we're not talking about the ones that are there,
bro. They don't say that, bro. They don't just say the ones that are here. They just say Africans are XYZ. They don't
talking
make it
about the ones that are
specific,
here.
bro.
Brother, we're talking about the ones that are here. I'm telling you.
We're
talking about the ones that come here.
You are.
Listen,
But I'm not talking about just you specifically.
Hold on. Let me make the point. My culture embraced Africa. Remember, all throughout the early 90s, Black Americans were wearing what? African medallions around their neck. So we don't have a problem with Africa or African culture. We love African culture because we realize that's the melanated continent.
I accept that, yes, and that's true. What you're saying is true, but what I'm saying is, if we look at it, how the dynamic of how it is today, is it 100% like that?
No, we're talking about the people that do come here and do that. We're at war still over here. I mean, take a look around you and the stuff that's going on in America. The racial tensions here are high. So again, like you just said, right? You said that the ones that come over here have a certain financial status, so they're real snobbish, right?
They oftentimes will look down upon us.
If you bring that snobbish attitude over here to a country that's already has problems with people that look like you and I, because I am Black, even though my camera's not on. How do you think we feel when we need all hands on deck? We need brothers and sisters, not just from our diaspora, but from across the globe to shut this shit down.
I understand you. But I understand you. But like, okay, let me give you this comparison. Do you think the typical African American is in a worse living situation than the typical Nigerian?
I think it's different.
No. Do you
not
think?
Better or worse.
No, bruv.
No, it's not.
Bruv.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain why. Let me explain.
Who's living a better lifestyle?
Let me explain why. I'm not going to say either one is better or worse. They both have their challenges.
Bro, have you been
to crazy for saying that. You're mad.
Hold on. Let me explain.
I would say African, bro.
Let me explain one difference that we do not have.
Americans are gifted compared to Africans. I would agree with that.
Bro. This is what I'm talking about. You lot don't know what you're talking. No. This is what I'm saying. You lot don't know what you're talking about. You say things.
No, I do what I'm talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like, how could you say how could you say you don't know or you're not? You don't know. How could you say you don't know?
I didn't say I don't know.
You don't know
I said I don't. I didn't say I don't know. I said they're different. Listen to what I'm saying.
I didn't ask you if they're the same or different. I asked you which one is worse. Typically, if you got the typical versus the typical, who's gonna be living a higher standard of living? Who?
The American, oftentimes.
Let me explain why.
You do know in most African countries you can't just go to school. Do you know that, right? You can't just go to school.
Okay.
You know that, right?
School fees,
and most African countries are ran by Africans.
Brother,
what's wrong with that?
What I'm asking. Oh my God, bro. That's not what I'm asking you, bro.
So there's a difference between
question, bro.
Our group. I did, and I answered it, and you won't let me explain my answer.
It's different. That's not the answer, bro.
That is my answer, and I want to explain.
Go on. I want to.
So you're telling me how to answer the question now?
Answer it. Go on. This serious.
So the reason why I say it's different is because there's different challenges for each group. Africans run their own countries.
What?
Right now, for example, there's a civil war going on in Ethiopia right now between Ethiopians that are ran by Ethiopian government. Black Americans do not run.
That's class oftentimes.
But that's a political difference.
I would like to push back on three things specifically. You said
I can't even get a word out. You're asking me why we feel this way, and you won't let me explain.
No, I would just like to push back on three things you said. That I don't really believe that the Africans are controlling their countries, because you can clearly see where European corporations still have firm grips on power. But also, I disagree when you said that Black Americans didn't have any culture or that was bastardized from European culture, because you can see through slavery, like Tudanese, where they made languages from Yoruba and from indigenous languages and mixed it with English.
We put our own spin on that. You got to
I'm
understand.
saying that we invented things all throughout. We have a clear, identifiable, separate culture away from white folks. Even they would say that. I think it's undeniable.
We took certain things and put our own spin on it.
No,
we added the swagger. For instance, we added the swagger to religion. We invented gospel music. That's
but we invented jazz. We didn't get it from somewhere else.
I didn't say jazz, bro. I didn't say jazz. I said when we first got into slavery, we were given a culture by white people. We took it and made it our own. We made our own version.
I don't agree.
Bro, I'll be honest. I don't give a shit about music because music's not helping nobody. Who gives
I don't care about music. I'm just saying.
I disagree with you on the culture. I asked you a simple question, yeah, and I asked you, and you still haven't had a chance to explain what you meant. I asked you if you got the typical American, black American versus the typical Nigerian, yeah, typical. Who do you think is living a better standard of living, a better quality of life? And you said you didn't say one or the other. You said it's different. I want you to explain that. I still want the explanation for that.
There's difference, isn't it? So for instance, you can argue that the Nigerian, you're probably going to say, well, the Nigerian has the worst living conditions because from a financial situation, right? And you would probably be right. But from a political standpoint, Nigeria is ran by Nigerians. Now, if you want to talk about government corruption in Nigeria, or the fact that, Nigerian government is corrupt, that has to do with Nigerians. They can fix that.
You do understand that it's not just as cut and dry as, it's run by Nigerians and they're fucking it all up. It's not as simple as that. Like, do you not know that?
And you can still forget about
Nigerian independence wasn't that long ago, bro. What are you talking about?
Even the name Nigeria was named from a European named Nigeria.
Okay.
Wow. And you're grown man, you should know that.
And that sounds like something different, right? And that sounds like something different, like I said. So you get my point, actually.
Bro, like,
you keep trying to compare, and you can't compare that.
You can compare when somebody hasn't got clean water, bro.
No,
you can compare. You can compare when someone doesn't have clean water to drink. You can just go to, bro. Like, that is mad. You're trying to say that you're trying to say it's only
Americans
different, but one's
better,
not better
bro.
than the other. You're trying to say one's not better than the other. It's just different. No, one is better than the other. It is, and I think most people can understand that.
One doesn't have its government being controlled by a British company like Thor Explorations. They control the Segolia mine in Usun State in Nigeria. And it's just like, dude, they control billions of dollars.
A lot of the resources are being great.
Black Americans are politically
about?
homeless. We don't even have a fucking voice in our government at all.
No, you do. You have a lot of reverence. You have what's his name?
Reverence.
You obviously have Malcolm X. We all know those people. But I'm talking about Louis Farrakhan. I know them.
No. I'm talking about our government. The United States government. Black Americans are politically homeless. Our government doesn't work for us. It doesn't.
We still got it better than the Nigerians,
African nations, their government don't work for them either, bro.
Exactly. It's corruption everywhere.
I don't know what you're trying to say, bro.
I think that tribalism is the reason why a lot of African nations are where they are. Because you have tribalist issues and things that you guys need to work out over there.
There's a lot of corruption, bro. There's a lot of corruption and colonization that happened. And certain people were put in positions of power, and they don't want to relinquish their power. They will do whatever it takes to hold on to it.
All right.
Like deleting other people. That's why there's no uprising. That's why there's no revolution, bro. That's why.
Okay, cool. So then
how do you not know that? I don't know how you don't know that, bro.
Bro, I do know that. I know.
So why are you saying the things you're saying then?
You're 45.
Because I'm not trying to say that one is better than the other. That's why.
One is though, bro.
No, one is though. We're trying to find out the answer.
Struggle. Okay, then we can concede that white supremacy.
Both have it rough, but one is better than the other, bro.
No,
I'm sorry.
Which one?
Bro.
Americans have it better.
Hold on,
My
guys.
my take on it is
hold on, Jay.
American.
Hold on. I even asked the guy, the American guys. I asked them about where they feel they would have a better time or quality of life if living in an African country or living in America. And guess what? They all said they would rather stay where they're at. Why? Because the resources, the infrastructure, blah blah blah.
The modern conveniences,
modern conveniences. Because if you was gonna live over there, the lights might go off. You need aircon because you can't breathe. You can't go sleep because it's too hot. Like, bro, like, what are you talking about, bro? Are you having those problems in America?
African natures
You're not
have
having
worse.
those problems. Those are like necessity. Those are like basic life things.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
just education. Bro, education is the most important thing. Education's the most important thing. Most of those kids don't even have a chance. They don't even have a chance. They don't even have an opportunity, bro. All these and these guys and these boys, and this is the thing. Hold on. This is the thing that upsets me, even in this country as well, in the UK as well. It's not just you Americans, trust me. I'm not trying to attack you lot, yeah. But us blacks in this side of the world, yeah, we are so spoiled, bro. We don't understand all the opportunities we have, and we're so distracted by fucking music, sports, movies, all the bitches, all this fucking stupid shit. When we don't realize in them countries, they're trying to actually real survival mode, the real one, bro. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so when I ask you a simple question like, which one typically is gonna have a better standard of living, and you say, I don't know because it's different. I think that's really disingenuous to say that.
I didn't say I didn't know. I just said they were different.
If you said anything other than it's easier in America than it is there, you're wrong, bro. Like, you're wrong, bro. Like, and that's it. And you can disagree, but I don't really see what angle you can come from to make what you're saying make sense.
Well, I think we can both agree that all of this is caused by corruption of white supremacy. Whether you're on this side of the pond or the other side of the pond. I think we can all agree with that one. And all I'm saying is that if we want to extend the olive branch on this, we got to look at it from nobody's lazy. It's not about laziness. It's about there were things done to us on both sides of the pond that are affecting us as people today. And the vision, like the saying goes, divide and conquer. And I'm not about division. I'm really not. I will call out those who say stuff about my community and my people, and rightfully so. And then just like you corrected me on certain things about Africans in Africa, I'll correct them on FBAs and certain things about our culture here. But I'm not going to sit here and just people to come over here and talk crazy about us. It ain't going to happen.
But that wasn't never a conversation, though.
Can I mention something?
So focused on, you disrespecting us, bro. Like, everybody disrespects everybody, bro. Like, I mean, what do you mean, bro? Like, but anyway, let somebody else speak in it. Go on.
Nobody's saying. Oh man, I forgot my train of thought now. Nobody said they don't have. I was gonna say that they don't. What is it? They don't have an excuse to be lazy because they have to work twice as hard to get the same conveniences us Americans have in similar circumstances. So, for instance, a single mom in the hood in the projects can get a house given to her. A 6-year-old boy in his tribe in Africa, he would be told to go to work before he go to school. Mm-hmm. For his family. So therefore, it's not the same. One is worse than the other. Most people, like someone said, the modern conveniences of America, even though you're in dire times or you're in survival mode, it's a lot better than worried about your lights getting cut off or not having clean water or having to go out and hunt for your food, and resources versus going to the neighborhood welfare building here in Arizona and getting a food stamp card, and now I got food for, if it's just me, I got food just for applying my name to some document, and I get food stamps or I get job offers thrown at me. You know, even as a grown ass man, you know what I'm saying? A lot of folks over there, they have to get up and go to work. They don't have the convenience of being lazy. They don't eat if they're lazy. You know, that's pretty much it. So to say, it is absolutely disingenuous to say that one is no better than the other. They're different in their circumstances, but one is much better than the other because, like someone was saying, traveling abroad and seeing how they live versus what your custom of living is. A lot of times you want the modern conveniences that come with the internet and all that stuff. I mean, they get internet in the feds.
I already conceded to that point.
They get cell phones in the feds, in the jail. You don't get that.
He already explained it to me, and I already conceded to that point. So we're mute on that point. My thing is, like I said, for the ones that do come over here and say the things that we say, because again, we're still fighting over here for reparations. And you have Africans or Caribbeans or Afro-Latinos that like to come into Black American spaces and speak against reparations and things that were done to us in our country, right? That affected our side of the pond. And we're looking at them like, yo, where's all of this coming from?
Hey, Jay, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah. What was the topic again? Because I was actually paying attention to what he was saying.
Oh, the topic is basically why Black people can't get along, FBA, tethers, etc. You know, Africans, Caribbeans, everyone. Like, why is it we can't get along? Because I just think we don't have to be like, oh, we're all one people, because that doesn't make sense. Because there's always been tribes and stuff like that, and you know, just like Black Americans are a tribe, you know, Nigerians are a tribe, you know, South Africans, etc. But I think that we need to have a common understanding that we are all we've got, and everybody else is playing teams.
Yeah.
Everybody else is playing teams, and we're playing intermural. Do you get what I'm saying?
100. Yeah.
So it's like, that's why you can have these out and out racist people come out, and they're gonna have a big following. And bro, their following's not just like, for instance, do you think Chud the Builder's support is just from Americans?
No.
Absolutely not, bruv.
Trust me, I've read the comment sections.
Not, bro. So this is what I'm saying. Like, for instance, like my channel, I'm really proud of. The one thing I'm proud about my channel is that, like, I have like a lot of Americans or a lot of British, which I know most of the people are watching are probably Black, because Black people relate to Black people the best, right? So, and I've got like Blacks from the Caribbeans and obviously from African countries that watching me, and you know, we're sharing ideas, etc. So I just think that if we all had that kind of understanding and not look at each other as like ops, I think that we would get further. Again, we're gonna have our differences and our own customs and our own traditions and our own types of rice. I get it, bruv. But like, there needs to be at least a common understanding that we are all we got, and it's us against everybody else, bro. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, and it's funny because the last few years, it's been reinforced in my mind so heavily. Like, especially even from when I used to do my podcast show and with Just Pearly Things and all of that, and how that blew up in my face, and everything that's gone on since that situation, and then the things that are going on now. You got Chud the Builder, you got all these, you know, these guys, Tommy Robinson over here, and all the things going on in Ireland now, and you know, all this anti-immigrants, this, that, the other, and it's just like, bro, like, bro, we need to have an understanding as Black people. We need to have an understanding, bro. I really think that's very, very crucial in this time, because right now it just seems like the way things is going, it's going to be teams. It's going to be literally teams. Just like that guy said, in jail, you know, people didn't mix. Bro, that could be outside the jail soon as well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying, bro? What
No
was it?
doubt,
Someone put
no doubt,
Elon Musk in the chat, yeah? Bro, that guy was talking about white solidarity.
Yeah, Elon Musk, he's like the richest guy in the world now, and he's trying to stir up.
Do you know how dangerous that is, bro?
That's very dangerous. Like that,
and
they could wipe us out if they wanted to right now.
Oh, you said I'm lazy, and oh, you lot coming over here doing this and doing, and like, bruv, like, there's such a bigger picture, fam, and it actually supports our ops that we think like this about each other.
I mean, again, we're Black Americans. We're still fighting for. Think about it like this. To us, slavery is like clocking into a job and not getting paid. You got to think about all that work and all that labor that our ancestors did on this land, and we had nothing to show for it. White people literally took their money and pocketed it. That's how we feel about reparations. So and again, you've already explained to me that the Africans who come here, a lot of them have a complex. We get it. Conceded point. But the ones that come here and try to get into these political spaces or into these spaces and talk about, oh, Black Americans don't need reparations. They're lazy. They need to just pull themselves up by our bootstraps. We're like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think you should treat them as the individuals they are. If they're saying those things, treat them as the individuals they are. They don't represent a whole nation.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we came up with the slogan "Tether" to describe the behavior. Not all Africans in Caribbean. Let me make it clear. Not all Africans and Caribbeans are tethers. Tethers are a specific type of behavior. And that's y'all version of a coon. Like when we say coon in Black American culture, that means a Black American turncoat, a motherfucker that throws his people under the bus every time. You know what I'm saying? Every chance he can get. Like to me, Charleston White is a perfect example of that. That motherfucker will talk one way 1 minute and then he'll switch up another. He's a coon. And we don't fuck with coons here in America because they're dangerous. A lot of them are freaking dangerous. So a tether is a person who is from another country who displays coon behavior. You can be an African and not be a coon. You can be a Caribbean and not be a tether.
That's fine. That's fine. That's awesome. Okay, you
that's
made that
all,
clear.
That's all it is.
But let's be real. Be honest, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard conversations where Black Americans have just lumped all Africans or all Caribbeans as tethers and just they haven't made it specific. They haven't made it specific. Hold on. They haven't made it specific to an individual. They've just labeled a group. Because I have many times.
And I have too. I've seen it both ways. I've seen it both ways, brother. And this is why I wanted to come up here, because I don't want to sound like I'm arrogant. I'm really not. I'm very a humble person. And that's why when you explain to me in a little bit more detail, I conceded to your point, because I'm not a type of person that hates anybody. I fuck with everyone. I fuck with UK rap. I fuck with that shit. I love UK artists because it's different.
I never got that.
But I don't even mess with UK rap. UK rap is very. I think US rap is bad, bro. Like UK rap is very. It's emotionless. Like they have no character, no emotion.
You know something funny? You know something funny?
Anyway, let's get back to what you said, because I think us Black people we get too emotional about things that don't matter, bro. Music, fuck that shit. It don't matter, fam.
No, I'm an artist. I love art.
But back to what you were saying, bro. I didn't get the vibe like you hated anyone at all. I'm just gonna say that. I don't think no one was getting that vibe. I was just thinking that what you were saying, it just did not compute to me. That's all it was.
No. I know. Trust me. I know that people in other parts of the diaspora suffer from things and go through things, man. Like I'm not fucking stupid. Like I said, you got the brothers and sisters in Ethiopia fighting each other right now over a civil war. That's horrible. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the the whole drama between Djibouti and Somalia, you know, over the waterways. Like, I pay attention to a lot of geopolitics, believe it or not, outside of America. You know what I'm saying? So I support a lot of the different movements, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, people over there. I believe, and this may sound like a conspiracy theory, I think that the whole Ebola thing, I think they're infecting those people on purpose over there. I do. I really do. And it's fucking horrible. And, you know what I'm saying? It's all from the same source. It's all white people doing what they do best.
I hear you.
But
let me get somebody new speaking.
All right, brother. I think I'll step down.
Are you stepping down?
Did you want me to?
Hello, Riches.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hello, sir.
All right, no worries. All right, question to ponder. Yeah, what did you want to add?
The best thing I can say, first, when it comes to FBA, I know you're a Black Brit.
Yeah.
Please note that there are other Black people in America who fully know our African ancestry. For example, there's the Gullah Geechee. They actually speak how should I say, like a Creole, not Creole, but like an Americanized version of West African dialect. There is also, there's a man named Paul Robeson who is Black American, and he actually knew his West African tribe, the Igbo tribe, because his grandfather actually was born as a slave minding TOS. So there are people, just some examples, there are people who do, just by oral history, who know our West African ancestry. That this oral tradition was passed down. Also, I'm not too sure, King Riches, and I have wondered for a long time, what knowledge do the Brits have of American history past the Revolutionary War? Because in the United States, you know, what we learn as to the beginnings, like with the Puritans, the Massachusetts Bay Colony, the Mayflower Compact, etc., it is probably going to be different.
We don't really get American history like that. We pretty much touch like the main global events, like globally, like Cuban Missile Crisis, that kind of stuff, like world wars and stuff like that. But in terms of like what you're talking about, we don't really get that much school education. Even to be honest, the transatlantic slave trade, we don't really get educated on that. A lot of us, we learned that from our own personal homework.
Yeah, that is very deep. Like when you look at the transatlantic slave trade, which depending on what school you go to, because keep in mind, how do I say this? Literacy, his knowledge of history, just basic reading and writing is lacking severely in the United States, especially amongst the Black population. That's a problem in and of itself. So when you have a group that already a large number are illiterate, and I'm not even exaggerating, I mean actual cannot read.
Do you know that's so crazy you said that, because there's actually a reaction video I'm gonna do that I saw these like little clips on Instagram, and it was literally the guy was asking like boys and girls, like Gen Z boys and girls, to read like basic paragraphs. Yeah, some of the words were a bit like quote unquote big words, but some of the things were not even that big words, and they literally could not read it. I was a shock. Like I was shocked.
That's going to shock someone like you because of your education. Even like the Virgin Islands.
But I never went to no private school or anything. I just went to a regular school.
It's like let's do it. Let's equalize. The U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands, the education vastly different. Vastly different. Like education within the UK, it's like ingrained within your culture. You're going to read the greats. You're going to read canon. You're going to learn Shakespeare. You're going to read. You're like off the rip. You're going to read Shakespeare. I mean, and this is the man arguably who created what we understand as modern English, like metaphor within English. Just studying Shakespeare and then add on the King James Bible. You are light years ahead. You can do very well with just those two, like the King James and just studying Shakespeare. That does not really happen at all here, especially amongst the Black population. Also,
would you say that's because sorry to cut you off. So when I asked the panel before,
yes,
would they agree that most Black people in America think, in a way, it's like they have this mindset that America's the whole world. Like they don't really have a good understanding of the rest of the world. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Would you say that's the reason why?
No, I want to say it's the reason why, but it is a component why. Because think of the United States, number one, it really is like a continent that happens to be a sovereign nation. The African continent is massively huge. Massive. Like Africa is like 1/3 of the world landmass. But when you look at the United States is humongous. Like it's unbelievable just how large this country is. Not only touching both oceans, but you have every season. And we have full, complete mobility. So we have, if you think of like the continental US, 48 states, they're basically like little countries where we as Americans have full, complete mobility. Like we have free movement. You can just hop in your car and just drive and go anywhere. And we, of course, have the same currency. So it's easy to move around, move about. But each state has its own respected laws. But we do have free mobility, free movement. And of course, we have one currency. But it is like 48 countries within a continent. So there's so many different cultures that New York is not like the South. Like a New Yorker is very different from the South. Then you have California, then you have the Midwest, then you have the Pacific Northwest, then you have.
Yeah, I mean, I know that because like obviously when I was there and I experienced, living there and coming across Americans from different places, and it's like I understood that it was like, raw, like these states are like different countries. Like, do you get what I'm saying? With their own talk, their own slang. The only thing that they have like in common was the dollar. But they literally can have their own customs and stuff like that. So I understand that. But what was the point? What was the point you was trying to make?
I think my point is to make is that for you, look, okay, from your perspective as a Brit, remember, George III, it was the Revolutionary War was against George III, King George III. And then the result was like the 13 colonies. That really is like the beginning of United States history starts with the UK. So you have the 13 colonies. And those of us who have, especially as a Black person, if your history begins there, you do have a greater knowledge of that connection, not just with West Africa, but also with the UK. So you learn a lot of the history regarding the English and the Dutch, because a lot of the colonies, a lot of people don't do a lot of studying, like the significance of the Dutch, the VOC. It's very extensive, but most Americans are not going to learn that. I just want to come to you because.
But this is the thing, my only gripe with that, and I do get the point you're making, yeah? Yes. But or the points you're making, as to why like Black Americans, they may not have as much knowledge about certain things that may be kind of maybe common to me or people that went to school, like this kind of education that I got, whatever. But at the end of the day, we live in again, as I said earlier, we live in the age of information. Like if you want to know something, you can find out. If you want to find out where your DNA comes from, you can find that out. It's not that hard. Like you don't actually need to read. You don't even need to sit down and read. You don't have to sit down and read it in a book anymore.
But you also have to remember, going back to what that person originally said, the person you're communicating with, when you said that we live in the age of information. I mean, the United States is a knowledge-based economy. But someone that you were speaking to made a very important point. Most people, it's not even leaving their state. They don't even really leave their county, like the county, which you of course know, like their city, their county. They're very, very limited in location, and that's by their choice. You can step out, but a lot of Black people, in the United States, if you're coming from the Deep South, or you're coming from, your people are from California, that's not the UK. That's not the original 13 colonies. That's not the United States. The United States is the 13 colonies, which is the stripes, those who fought against the British, against the UK, the monarchy. And then after, which is the history that you're probably not going to learn, that's when the United States started really extending itself. So after the War of 1812, which was the United States pushing all the British out of North America, essentially, like everybody has to leave, the United States started moving deep into the South. They're still continuing the slave trade, but they're moving further deep into the South and basically creating their own slave economy without or sans the British.
I really appreciate all the information you're giving. And let me say, shout out to Team Fatty, the Untouchables. They done a raid, on my live stream. Big up to everybody. Big up to Tony for the super chat. He says, salute from the Untouchables. Appreciate you, my brothers. Big up to you lot. And big up to, hold on one second. Big up to Doug. He said, thanks for having me on the panel, my bro. Big up to Doug MPA as well. Yeah. I don't mean to be like hurry you up or cut you off, but like I need you to kind of get to the point of what you're trying to say.
Is the FBA, they're whoever they are, they're indigenous, great. Then just be indigenous and leave everyone else who's Black America, who knows where we come from. Like I know my oral history. Like they want to be Native Americans, that's fine. That's good.
Not Native Americans.
But I don't know. Honestly, like I just see like the Nashidans, like Tariq Nasheed and this grift that he has.
I don't even want to say that guy's name. That guy, I don't like that guy. I just don't even say his name.
Yeah, FBA really is just anti-Africa. And
I agree.
It is anti-Africa. There is a very, very, very deep-seated hatred. And I don't want to, of course, take up your panel regarding that.
No, actually, let me scratch that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, we're foundational Black Americans. My forefathers were born here, raised here. This is my culture. This is what it is. I'm not African. Cool. I ain't got no problem with that. That's cool, because at the end of the day, Africa is different countries, and within those countries, different tribes. Yeah, they don't all claim to be all the same. That's fine. There is an umbrella in this globe. There is an umbrella because the rest of the world are playing by teams, and that's my own ideology about it. But with the FBA thing, when they start just kind of attacking you Africans, that's when I've got a problem with it, because it's like,
yeah, right.
Like I just find that to be really disgusting, to be honest. I think it's disgusting, and I think especially in the kind of climate, especially in the kind of climate that we live in right now, where a lot of non-Black people are showing their out and out racism. I think that's not really a smart way to conduct yourself, or for any group to be conducting themselves, when we know we're ethnic minorities, especially in these Western countries. But yeah, so let me let somebody
else. It's always
else.
been like that. I'll go on mute, but I'm just being honest with you. It's always been like that. It's now just coalesced. They basically congregated as to one vocal hatred. It's really been like that. I remember the things I used to hear that I've used to hear even as a child, like the derogatory language. And also it's not just being like the hatred for Africa, but if you look at, because, a lot of Black people, Black America, look West African, look Bantu. So even if you have that look, you can be here for centuries. You're still going to go through absolute total racism. And I'm not even speaking about just white people. I'm talking about Black people. And and they have no issue. This is something I really want to wrap up, and I hope you understand. They will partner up with white people against the Black person who looks Black. Never mind that you're from here and that you've always been from here. If you have the look, if you don't have like the colored light skin look, they will go after you. It's not just being from Africa, but aesthetically looking African, or not conceding to like the culture, just like quote unquote being proper. Like if you look African, but you act
I gotta
white,
cut you off. I gotta cut you off. I gotta
yeah.
cut you off.
That's okay, Richards. I'll stop. Thank you.
All
I
right,
think you
no
get my
worries, no worries. All right, so
Bridges.
cool. So D Fry, yeah, D Fry. Have you got what do you want to add to the conversation, bro? You can unmute yourself.
Hold on, I'm watching the game. Let me do it for me.
Bridges, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
What do you think about proportional citizenship or African countries giving Black Americans some citizenship, not like Ghana, but actual citizenship where they can get land and rights?
I think that would be a good idea. I think that would be a great idea. But the thing is, is that like you have to have a selection process. It can't just be someone that's gonna come and do stupid shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not even sure how you would do this selection process. But like, you don't want ignorant people to come. I don't know. But as an idea, just on the surface, I think that would be a good idea to have that olive branch out there, because obviously most Americans are not going to do that because of what we've already talked about. But if that option was there, that is a huge bridge. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and that would go to show that, you know what, we understand you lot have gone through hell. Your forefathers, your families have gone through hell, and we want to show you that we actually care, and we want to build bridges, and it's not going to be an overnight, thing, and it's not going to be a we are the world utopia, but at least we're trying to, build something. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's where it starts. I think Rome wasn't built in a day. It's just step by steps. So I think that would be a good step in the right direction, to be honest.
King Richards, do you have any recommendations that we could start? That anything that would actually improve the community globally?
What, globally, or what, in just UK, or what do you mean?
Globally.
Globally, I think that we need to actually have conversations. That would be the first step. You can't jump. You can't make big leaps. That's where things will just go to shit. It will fuck up 100%. Yeah. Because you need to, like, for instance, like some people say, oh, we need to start building businesses together and blah, blah, blah. Bro, you can't build a business with somebody you don't understand. Because if you start trying to build business with someone you don't understand, you're going to run into a lot of conflict and confrontation. And a lot of it might not even be a real conflict. But because you don't understand each other, it could turn into fireworks very easily. Like a lot of the arguments that I think that, Caribbeans have with Africans, and, FBAs and Africans and Caribbeans and all the other ways it goes. A lot of this stuff is petty stuff. A lot of this is just a lack of understanding each other and where we're coming from. That's what so I think the first step would be to have like honest conversations, like, just honest conversations, logical, honest conversations, where it's not about trying to prove I'm right, but like actually speaking the truth and what actually happened, like what is actually happening, and what is the logical next step. That's what I think.
Richies, I'm going to have to step down, but if you guys want to follow me, my name is Barrington Williams, and my commentaries on b1daily.com. So thank you for the platform.
Awesome, my brother. Thank you so much for coming on. You was excellent, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You too, my bro. Big up to Barrington.
Yeah, I've got a suggestion about how to like improve the community globally. But I mean,
go ahead, bro.
Yeah, what I'd say is that what we need to do is that, like, our people who are successful and they go to uni and they try and get power, we need to stick together, because what happens is, like, especially with me, like my parents, they try to send me to all of these good schools and that, but like, bro, it's very, very hard, like, because you change slightly as well. And basically, like, you don't stick together, like in these like private schools, these grammar schools, these white universities, like there's not that much cohesion because there's barely any of you. It's like you kind of lose, like, basically you're just focused on getting money, working hard, but like you don't stick together.
Yeah.
And when you don't stick together, that's when these guys like these white guys, they start to disrespect you. And not even that, you're just focused on yourself and you're not focused on the community.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I just went to like I told you, I went to like a white school and I hated it. But like if I was back home, I would have felt better. And like we would have just stuck together, really. It just makes you more community minded.
Riches, who's speaking right now? Is this Maxwell who's speaking?
No, Mohammed.
Mohammed, you sound, oh my gosh, Mohammed, you sound amazing. Your accent. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, it just sounds so unbelievably charming. Unbelievably.
Yes, Mohammed. Yes.
And Riches, if I may say, the better English you speak, one thing, Brits are the most discriminatory when it comes to an English accent. I'm Black American, and because of just my education, the Brits love the accent. I've been able to get jobs just off accent alone.
Oh yeah, every American
I can imagine that. Yeah, 100%.
And also, lastly, Riches, the Brits do not like a New York accent. The things I've heard, you all do not like hearing that. You guys, like, I can't do a New York accent.
I don't know
I'm not
about that. If she's good,
but I've heard some things from. I worked for a financial company that's UK based, and they just were not having it. But I'll go back on mute. I'm sorry, Mohammed. I had to say something.
Yeah. Mohammed, carry on, my bro.
Yeah, man. So I think what Americans have, like HBCUs, are a great thing. And if there was a version of a HBCU in the UK, that would have been like amazing for me. Basically,
but the thing is, the thing about that is, I don't think the UK's not big enough, bro.
Yeah, there's not enough of us.
It's not enough of us. Like, they can do it in America because America's so huge, and even though they're 13%, that's a big populace, bro. It's like for instance, all right. For instance, I'll give you this example. Yeah, you lot love talking about music. Guess what? In America, you could be a rapper who's not famous and still make a lot of money. Because there's enough people in your area that they could support you, like buy your stuff, come to your concerts, and you could still live off that. UK, you can't do that, bro. Even a lot of the UK rappers that are known, they're not rich. They have to do other stuff to get money, bro, to pay their bills.
The views is very bad. The views.
That's
very,
what I'm
very
saying.
bad compared to Americans.
Yeah, like think about this. Another one. Because obviously I'm a YouTuber. There's YouTubers that in American streamers we've never heard of them, bro. And guess what? They're making a lot of money, bro. Why? Because they got their niche, their community, which is niche, but there's enough of them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So numbers, innit? Go on.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say it is the numbers, but also Americans in general, there's a more of a culture there of actually just being more willing to spend money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in the UK, people are a lot more tight about their money. Anyone who ever tries to make any business, anything like that, you're going to find out. You better make sure your product is going to have some appeal outside of the UK if you want to not have as much of a ceiling.
That's
you get what I'm saying? Like,
bro, most of the people,
so,
let's be real, most of the people that hit the super chat to my channel are American, bro. Most.
Major fact. Major fact. Like for example, how many of you guys know, right? Like, how many of you guys know the GTA that's made by Rockstar? How many of you guys know they're British?
Really? I didn't know that.
Right, no one knows that, right? Like, no one knows that, but everyone thinks it's an American, that they're American because their games are set there. But why do you think we've never had a GTA in the UK? They know that ain't about to make no real bread. Let's keep it that ain't gonna hit the same way. Like us over here, we might like it, but come on now, you know what I mean? So it's there's things like that, but you know, they had to set up their business over in New York. You know, they had to get a lot of their stuff, their finances, everything's handled over in America because that's what's going to be a lot more profitable for them in terms of the reach and what you're able to accomplish. So in regards to that, when it comes to anything like we're talking about, that's part of the issue with doing things over here. I would say that's a bigger issue than numbers, because I think the numbers thing it's important, but I think it's a bit overrated because at the end of the day, there are groups that are smaller than us in the UK that have got a lot of financial leverage. So it depends on
those groups understand the importance of unity and working together and pooling their money together. Black community, bro, we don't trust each other, bro.
But that's the thing.
And
Black
there's
people.
reasons why. There's reasons
No,
why.
I
we don't
agree.
trust each
I
other.
agree. I agree. But we all know that black people are willing to put their money together for foolishness, though. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
facts.
Yeah,
if it comes down to some nonsense, that black pound's gonna come together
100%
quick.
facts.
So it's more a cultural value thing than anything else. If the cultural
UK
values
drill,
were adjusted,
US drill, Chicago drill, New York drill, all of that. Like I love the music industry is really degenerate. Like I love the stuff drinking, alcohol, smoking.
bro, it's
You
cause
see guys,
Distractions, bro. They're all
I can tell you right
distractions.
now, I can literally link a guy right now and say I want to take substance with him, and you do that. But if I want to do something in a network to make music or content, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder.
Yeah.
Like
okay,
it's crazy.
well, you say that, but you said music or content, right? But music is that's in my view, that's even easier. You step outside of that, right? It's going to be a lot tougher for you. Like,
Yeah.
so
Actually, yeah,
you know,
you're
'cause
right.
with
You're
music-
right. Guys will come to
because
make
I
rap
know
songs.
too many
Yeah,
musicians. There's too many men that are trying to do music, in my opinion. That's a problem.
I do music. I've been doing music my whole life. I hate when guys. I hate that. That's the one thing. That's my pet peeve. You know, whenever I hear black guys, black boys. Oh, I've been doing music my whole life. When I was growing up, my mum and dad, my
Your
dad
ass is
played
still,
the
bro.
saxophone, and I was listening to music, and I was listening to gospel music as well. All types of music. I like Shut the fuck up, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. That's useless. We can't all be fucking rappers, bro. Piece of shit, bruv. It makes my blood boil, because it's just like, bro, other communities, they're not like that, bro. And that's why we're socioeconomically at the bottom. We can't all be Dave. We can't all be Gigs. We can't all be Heady One. We can't. It just don't make sense, bro. Like, but for some reason, us black guys, and I talk about us black guys because really and truly, it's about us. If black guys fuck up, the whole community fucks up. That's what it is, bro. Like,
Fact.
yeah. So it's like we're pigeonholed, as in you have to either be a rapper, a musician, or an athlete. If you're not one of those, then I don't know. You gotta be, and it's ironic. I do YouTube, but you have to be like a social media influencer, something.
Yeah.
If you're not one of those, bro, like, I hope you're a good-looking dude, and I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things.
But the thing is, again, even with that though, right? So we obviously know most black people aren't doing those things. Like, they're not successful in those things.
Yeah.
So even the guy who's talking about, I'm going studio, I'm gonna go do this and that. Yeah, but he's still got a job. And the thing is that, like, basically, like, a lot of black people, they are doing something. Yeah, they might go and have a job where we don't know about it, but they're working in tech or they're working in finance. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you go to Canary Wharf, you're going to see some black people around there. Maybe not as much as you'd like, but you're going to see them, right? If you go to Central London, you're going to see some of them there, suited and booted. So it's not that they're not there. The problem is that culturally, we don't place any importance on that type of black person. So it's like, the reason why when you're growing up, you're going to think I need to be Heady One or whatever, is because that's what your culture has taught you is the valuable version of blackness. That's all it is. It's not because there ain't any other type of black people around. It's just that we don't spotlight them, or we act like, that's just whatever in it. That's dead. Like, it's cool, but
because
it's not really.
It's not placed in the media. Like, for instance, yeah, if we talk about white people, yeah, we just talk about black. We just make it easy. White people, right? In their movies, in their media, sitcoms, movies, whatever, bro, they can have any type of white man. He could be a nerd.
Fact.
He could be an athlete. He could be a musician. He could be a doctor. He could be a nurse. He could be a babysitter. It don't matter what he is, bro. Like, he's just himself, and he's allowed to be himself. And yes, he can still make money, pay his bills, have a girlfriend, and it's not weird. But if it's a black guy in media, because we know the media is very, very powerful tool. It's a social engineering tool, bro. Like, the television is television programming, bro. Yeah. So if we're looking at these things and all we're saying for black male representation, all we see is Top Boy. I mean, like, what do you think's gonna happen? We're gonna grow up to think that this is the pinnacle of success. This is what we need to aspire to be. If you're not trying to be that, then there's something wrong with you, or you're just a square and you're a nerd and you don't get no girls and you're lame and you're a victim. And that's what it essentially is, and it's sad, bro. And I just think that we need to break out of this kind of cycle of you have to be in one of these boxes. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and it's bad. But anyway, go on.
What is your take on like fixing that? How do you think we can resolve that issue? Like expanding our horizon of how we see things and like making ourselves available to different, lifestyles and cultures and
I think
jobs.
I think, as I said, media is a very important tool, and we got to look at what media are we, which media platforms are we highly influenced by? Yeah. So we know that a lot of us are possessed by music. Possessed. Yeah. There needs to be music just depicting other different types of lifestyle, bro. Like, and it will. And the funny thing is, it's gonna sound weird, bro. It will sound weird, but if it's consistently pushed out, then like, bro, like people are going to start to accept it, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there was a time before gangster rap. There was actually a time before gangster rap, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So like, and it's not just the music, like TV. As I said, sitcoms. Like, think about like the Cosby Show. That was a wholesome sitcom. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was a wholesome sitcom. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just having depictions of like black families, mum and dad's there, not just the mum. The dad is there, active father, good father. You know, like good positive male models, positive male role models. No one is doing no crime. No one's doing no crime. In fact, they're there's in every episode, there's a life lesson at every episode. Why you need to stay away from bad company. Why you shouldn't be a pothead. Why you shouldn't turn alcoholic. Why you shouldn't be trying to sleep with every chick. Yeah. Like, these kind of like messages need to be drummed into their heads. Like, but at the same time, make it entertaining, funny. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, now that's when you can start including the entertainers and the comedians. Like, you put them in there, and then they will help to push those messages. Not no stereotypical walk one blood blah blah blah, all that crap. Like, because that is not helping, bro. It's not. And these people, they just keep doing it because they get paid and they don't give a crap. That's what it is.
King, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
I agree with your solution, but I'm very curious as well. Is like, what do you think the likelihood is that it would happen? Because, like you said, like, especially in this modern generation, it's like, it's just better to promote degeneracy from a financial standpoint. So it's like, what's the likelihood that people would be incentivized to like promote something different?
I think that it would be it's going to be extremely difficult. I don't know if it will ever happen. I'm not going to just start selling dreams and say, oh, it's going to happen. Yeah, just believe. I don't know. Like, I just think that the reality is if you are somebody who has logical sense and you are mature in the mind, you have to save yourself first. And then you need to gravitate to other people who are like-minded, and then, help each other as a group. Help the people that are in your vicinity, people that are around you. If there's some people that you can maybe unplug from the matrix, then yeah, go for it. But make sure you're keeping yourself safe and you're not putting yourself at risk. That's what I would say. I'd say that if you are a person who is in a position where you can create some kind of mediums where you are putting out good messages or representation, then go for it. Do you get what I'm saying? If enough people had that same understanding, then we would see a little change here, a little change there. At the end of the day, it's like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. This is not something that will get fixed in one generation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it took generations to get to where we are now, so it will take generations to get out of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think King Richards, you're like very, very intellectual. You're like an old soul, like an ancient soul, like you have a lot of information that is very, very important and people need to hear. It's unfortunate that you only have 100K. I think you should be like, you have like over like less than 1,000. videos. There's
Yeah.
people that have like thousands of videos and they have like 1 million, 2 million, 5 million even. I think your videos, like, they're very, like, really good, high quality, the environment, everything. Like, it's unfortunate that, you know, I think
I'm not
just
talking
continue
about
doing
drilling
it.
and trapping though, bruv.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not talking about
Like,
jugging and drilling and trapping. Do you get what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Like, it's unfortunate. Like, even for instance, I'm sure people that have watched me before, you know, a lot of times, a lot of the videos that do well, the ones that are talking about interracial dating, I'll be real, I don't give a crap about I don't actually care. But I know that, like, at certain times I need to put out what I know that my audience want to see. I understand it. I understand the game. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's like the rappers that like, for instance, I know people in the music industry, right, that they understand that what they're putting out is no good, but they keep doing it because they're financially incentivized. So
yeah, I'm
it's mad. Go on.
Yeah, I'll say that for sure. Like that's a big issue as well. Like, is that you come to realize that people will come on and be like, yeah, we need to do X, Y, Z. Like, look at all the stuff like people say we need to do this, that, and third. But at the end of the day, where is the focus put? You know what I'm saying? Where is the money being put behind? Because a lot of times it ain't those things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, even like what you were saying with the media and stuff like that, which to me is the number one issue. And I've always said that to people for the longest, that's the number one problem. But for me, as someone who's more interested and concerned with that space myself, if I talk to the average black person, they don't have concepts or ideas that's really countering that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, even down to just the conceptual level, you're not even conceptually broken out of it. Even your ideas is still like tied to the stereotypical stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Or it's still tied to trying to build off of something that the same box that like you're putting creativity, like, and stuff like that. And for me, it's a bit mad because I mean, Gen Z, it's a bit mad, like, because in our generation, what I've noticed is people have grown up a lot more like we're thinking certain things is cool in geek culture and whatever now, and they're growing up thinking streamers are cool and whatever, which I think is actually a good thing. Even though you got people like from older generation, Gen X, that might say Gen Z is goofy, which, yeah, a lot of our generation is goofy. But I actually think ultimately we actually need some of that, because a lot of the stuff we're talking about, part of the reason why like that stuff has had such a foothold is because our identity in blackness is around being hard and being a bad man and all of this. And you can't be like the thing we were talking about earlier with the white people or the white guy where you can be anything. It's also the reason why they'll do a lot more sus behavior and, you know, things that we just look at like, what's man like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be like, what's wrong with my man? But at the same time, it's like it comes with good and bad. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not like a thing where you're just going to get guys that's going to start being intellectual and then you're not going to get other nonsense that comes with it. And I think the problem is like you said, at first it's going to be weird. And I think we are starting to see some of it. You're starting to see some people try and be different and it looks a bit strange. You see some of these streamers, you're like, this guy's a bit corny, you know what I mean? But that's, I think, part of the generational switch. I do actually think that's part of what it is. So I do think it's happening. It's just, I don't know if it's going to happen in the direction we want in the long run, but I do think it is happening to some degree though.
Yeah, I was also going to say, like, from my own experiences, that people that do tend to be different, they're not going to be seen. So it's also like another reason. So like, if you do find someone that lives like a very different lifestyle or that's not like non-conventional, they're typically not really well known as well. So that's also kind of like a big
I
thing.
do
It's
think
like,
it is happening.
if you're doing something new that's like, that doesn't follow a certain stereotype, you're typically very isolated in the way that you do things. Like, as someone who's experienced different hobbies and interests and stuff like that, I've seen how when you're in a different space, you could be like the only black person in that space. So you're not going to be known by other black people. And so that's where it becomes like very interesting, because you could be the only person doing certain things. And so whilst you're branching out and you're experiencing new things and you're exposing yourself to different things, it's not necessarily reflected with other people. So they might not see it. And so I think that's why you find, like, I agree with you. Like, it's pretty cool that you see a lot of people that are like streaming and doing different things and displaying like different aspects of life, because sometimes you find yourself like people always get like kind of boxed in And so that whole thing of like branching out and trying new things, I advocate for that a lot as well. But I do find that it's like when you do try new things, you're probably going to be like, you're going to go unnoticed in the beginning, as all things, because when you first start, things are small, and then obviously things grow, and it will take time. But that's just been my experience as well.
That's the other thing as well, though. Like, one of my things with that is, especially for Black people, is you need to be like confident in the fact you're different. Because like, one thing with Black people, like, we're man don't be quick to roast you and say this and that about your headpiece and your hairline and whatever, blah 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 blah. Cool, but you've got to have enough strength within yourself to have your own values and to be able to stand on that. Because I promise you, there's not one person I know anywhere in the UK, in America, anywhere, and I travel, like, I don't care, nowhere I go, even if I'm talking to some Asian person over in Asia, no one's going to be able to define me or tell me who I am. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to certain countries where people are trying to tell me like, oh, I didn't know you. Like, you know, I've been to Asia and there'll be people saying like, are you sure you're from London? Because all they understand over there for some of them is a person from the UK being white. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes they'll say some wild stuff like that. Do you get what I mean? Like, and then you're just kind of looking at them like, no, like, you know what I mean? Let me just correct that real quick, because that's not what it is. But you've got to be able to stand.
Sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off, my bro.
No,
let me ask you a lot of questions, because I got the UK guys, us UK guys here. Yeah. What do you think? Like, do you think that the tension that used to be there between Africans and Caribbeans is completely gone now, or do you think it's still there in the UK? Because we've been talking about the Americans and Africans and all of that, but let's talk about here, like, because it wasn't all good over here either. So like, because I remember growing up, and you know, there was the whole Africans versus Caribbeans football, and then the football would turn into actually fighting in school. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know who remembers that. Press 1 in the chat or whatever. So what do you lot think about that? Do you think that is kind of disappeared now, or do you think it's still there, or what do you think?
I'd say it's mostly gone. I'd say, like, when my parents came here, it was definitely big, like back in the 70s, 80s. But like now, I'd say, like, obviously there's differences, but it's kind of banter. You know what I mean? Like, we all know. I'd say we're more united here than, like, we're more united. Like, a guy from Nigeria and Jamaica, we're cool now.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was to go to the US, like, I think people would like look at me sideways, basically. Like, oh, you're a tether, you're this, you're that, you're British, blah blah blah. Like
you drink. When I first went to America, and like, obviously being in school there, it was mad, because like, I was excited to go, boy. I was so excited. I was gassed. I was like, what? I'm going to America. I'm going to actually live there, bro. What the hell? Like, and then I just remember, like, I got a lot of love. Don't get me wrong. Like I got a lot of love, yeah. But it was like, it was that there was a little bit of that disconnect was there that I wasn't quite ready for. Like, and it goes back to, like, you know, a lot of these guys and girls, they didn't really have an understanding of us, or really know anything about us, really, besides what maybe they've seen on TV or whatever. So, you know, you get the whole little one-liners. Oh, do you drink tea? You drink tea, or what? Do you know the Queen? Like, do you know the Queen? Like all this kind of stuff, which is harmless stuff, but it's just like, it's like a bit of a disconnect. And then, you know, when you're talking, a lot of times, like what I experienced, they couldn't get over the things I would say. Like, it's not like they're listening to me, to what I'm saying anymore. They're just listening to how I speak. Do you get what I'm saying? And then, like, making fun of how I speak. And, you know, I again, it's harmless, but then remember, I'm getting this all the time, constantly. And it's just like, this is, bro, it's not that deep. Like, do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, back to what I was asking you lot. What do you lot think about the African Caribbean? So you lot are saying it's gone, because I actually agree. I think that it's pretty much gone now.
No, it's definitely dead. Like, my younger siblings some of them are in school, and you never hear anything about that. They don't even know that exists. So it's definitely not a thing anymore.
That's a good sign, though, that we're getting more united.
Yeah, I think it's a lot because of Afrobeats. Afro beats really revolutionized a lot of things. You got Tyler, you got Burna Boy.
Yeah, go on, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a lot of artists now, and a lot of their art like is being promoted. I mean, singing is not bad. I don't think singing is bad at all. It's kind of like it's euphoric. You understand? And music, although it's bad in the sense that there's a lot of promotion of negative stuff, you still have the unity where if you go to a party, you can link a girl, you can make a family. You know what I'm saying? So there's still positive in different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So back to the thing, Africans, a lot of them nowadays they're not seen as bad because of how they show themselves on the media. So that's why things are better for them now.
I think that's part of it, but I also think it's because the demographic shifted as well. Because I've come from a more Caribbean background, and you know, that was at one point that was the predominant black person in the UK, but it's not statistically anymore. So now at this point, the black people who are more statistically the majority here, ethnically wise, are from African backgrounds. So that's also going to shift it as well, because if you're in school and a lot of you are from that background, why are you going to be clowning it? It don't make sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
but at least what it does show.
Hold on, let me. You can go in after me, yeah. Quickly, I just wanted to say the reason why I think there was a lot of conflict as well back in the day was because, like, you know, predominantly most of the black people was Caribbean that first came to the UK, so they had kind of like the majority in terms of like black ethnic minority. It was mostly Caribbeans, and then like the white people kind of they were used to see the Caribbeans. They were more used to that. Then when the Africans started coming, it was like, oh, this is a different kind of black people. And the black people that were already here, they're like, who are these guys? Kind of thing. And then that caused attention. And hold on one sec. Big up to Jesse for the PayPal donation. He said, salute on your growth. Big up to Jesse. Appreciate you, bro. But carry on, bro.
I was gonna say, ironically, it's not fully full blown to the same exact thing, but ironically, it's almost like similar to the exact conversation you're having about the Black Americans and the whole thing with them feeling like people coming there. It's not exactly the same because obviously Black Americans have been there in America from the beginning of the United States, but I think the sentiment in the heads of those people was like, oh, we was here and then they're coming here and it's not the same, and why are they doing this and acting this way and da 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 da. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that's how in their mind they viewed it. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, especially because, and I'm just going to be real, you know, I think a lot more Caribbean people typically are a bit more, you know, I can definitely say for myself, like my family is a lot more British than any African like descended British person I know, like for sure.
I get it. Because Caribbean culture is more laid back, more chilled.
Well, there's that. But you said earlier, right? Like to do with. Well, there's that. But I remember earlier you were saying about like most of us being like first, like second generation. So if your parents were born here, they'll be first, and then you're second, whatever. Yeah. But like in cases of like someone like me, I'm fourth, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you. I got you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'll be real. I don't really know anyone else that's that far in. I don't. Like almost everyone I know, whether their parents is Caribbean or African, they're third at most. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll have to have a kid for them to be fourth. So I'm like a generation ahead of almost most people I know.
Yeah, you're in the future. You're already in the future. You're the future generations already. Because that's like you're in the group of my kids, basically.
Right, exactly. Because like my grandparents were born here, which is mad. Yeah, like I grew up my whole life thinking. I grew up my whole life thinking that they were born in Jamaica. Do you get what I'm saying? Because that's all I knew. Like everyone I knew, your parents was either born in Jamaica or born in Ghana or something. So I thought it was the same. Yeah. And I didn't learn that until literally like probably like when I was an adult, like a few years ago.
Yeah, but
it was like a big twist to me.
Didn't you realize that when that like they didn't have no African or Caribbean accent? Or did they have Caribbean accent?
No, because you just think that it's like, I mean, I've met people that just came a few years ago that get rid of their accent. So to me, it's like, I just viewed it as they were integrated. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I just viewed it as like they're not. I don't know. I wouldn't think that.
Which is, that goes back to the education. It really does. If you go to school in the country in which the Brits, and then you add in a Caribbean or an African, just that education mindset, you will lose the accent within like 5 years. It will just, and that goes across for most people. It's just in the United States because a lot of immigrants do not go to school. What I mean is like high school, college. They'll keep the accent. You'll hear it like a lot with the Hispanics and the Asians for like decades. Like,
but don't you think it depends on how old they are, though?
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about like,
that's a good
people,
point. But if you go through college, it makes a difference. Richards, it really makes a difference.
Yeah, but I'm
it's
saying
just
like, I was
just
assuming because he said that his parents, like, he's 4th generation, yeah, and he said that he assumed that his parents were just born in Jamaica, but I'm thinking surely, grandparents. But I'm thinking, like, surely if you thought they was born in elsewhere, that means they would have come to England as adults already. I don't know. Maybe I'm going mad. I don't know.
No, that's what I was saying. Assimilation within the English language, because the language is so robust, and then you have this incredible rich academia curriculum. If you study, I mean, like I mentioned, Shakespeare, you will assume the accent.
Yeah, but if you're already an adult, you're not necessarily going to be studying Shakespeare, are you?
You should. That's their fault.
Yeah, but I'll go back on it's not about really should. It's about what's realistically going to happen, though. It's about what's realistic. It's about what's realistically happening. Like, most adults,
you need to go to school.
Most adults are not like, oh, let me go and learn Shakespeare.
Okay, there's econ. There's econ. Okay. What about economics? Finance. You still have to. You study it. You take the time you study in school. Go to these incredible British business schools.
Yeah, but
but that's
that's
but so what though? That's not the majority though. Like, bro, like the majority of grown adult immigrants are not they're not studying Shakespeare, Macbeth. They're not doing that, and they're not going to these network meetings, economics meetings. They're not. They're probably just working a job, trying to find a job, and that's it. Like, I mean, I don't know. Am I going mad, or I don't know?
That's a fair assumption.
I think a part of it for me to do with the question was asking, which is those, because also because of the fact that my grandma grew up in Jamaica for a bit. So I think I just assumed based on that, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's just what it is. Like, that's just where she came from. That's all she's like. She came here young, and then That's why I always just assumed. So I assumed she was born there, came here young, and then from there, that's what it was. But no, born here as well, bro. So it's like I have to go to my great grandparents to get that experience. You know what I'm saying? And I think I've come to a conclusion that has a lot of other. There's a lot of other consequences, like, and other effects, like when we talk about Black culture and Black thing. Because me personally, I think that's like, when I hear people talking about, like, because when you're talking about earlier about people saying that they're not British or whatever, it's like, I'm the opposite of that. I would not ever sit here and be talking about I'm Jamaican or whatever, not in the sense of disrespecting your roots or where your forebears come from, but it's just like, that's inauthentic as hell for me to say that. That don't even make.
That's such a good point, because I was gonna ask you, yeah, like, do you prove the point I was making earlier? Then would you basically say, someone says, where are you from? What are you gonna say?
British immediately. And the thing is that, like, but bear in mind that it's a really interesting conversation to have with people, because, like, it's not, like I told you, whether people are second generation, third, whatever, the average black person don't want to be claiming that. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not really even about how deep they are generation wise. It's more to do with, like, a pride thing. Do you get what I'm saying? And not wanting to seem like they're selling out to the white man, the colonizer, and all this. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas my mindset on it is not like that. My mindset is, listen, you know, we're here now. It is what it is. This is part of what being a British person is in 2026. It's not just being white anymore. But Black people seem to still have it in their mind, like, you can't hold that, you can't claim that. That's one thing. Like,
let me ask you this, because, you know, obviously, as I was trying to explain to the American guys, yeah, like, Like obviously, when you meet people over here and they ask you where you from, and people usually say, I'm Nigerian, I'm Ghanaian, I'm Jamaican, I'm from Trinidad, I'm from etc. Yeah. So when people have asked you that and you've said I'm British, what's usually the kind
of course
response
they're gonna
you get?
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, usually I play a game with them because they're gonna say, "Oh, where are your parents from?" They're gonna say, "I was born here." Or what about your grandparents? They were born here. You know what I'm saying? Because most people's assumption is gonna be, well, if your parents, your grandparents wasn't from here. Do you know what I'm saying? No one's gonna expect me to be as deep in generationally as I am. So I just play that game with them. But I'm not dumb, bro. Like obviously, everyone knows when someone's asking that question, especially a black person. If a black person's asking you that, you're not dumb. Yeah, they already know you was probably born here. They can hear how you're talking. Obviously, I know what my man's saying, so I'm going to say, oh, yeah, obviously, my family's got roots over in Jamaica, boom, boom, whatever. I'm not, do you know what I mean? I play like the game with them sometimes, but it's goofy to act like you don't know what they're talking about. You know what they mean. And in my personal opinion, it's not that serious because no one's really going to try and like actually tell you, well, don't be saying you're from there. You're from it. Like people in my experience.
Question for you, bro. So, okay, boom, World Cup now, England versus Jamaica. Who you going to root for?
Boy, nobody.
Bro, that's mad.
You gotta pick, man. You gotta pick.
That's mad, bro. Like you wouldn't pick. What?
Hey, Riches, remember back in 2002 when Nigeria played England? You know you were repping Nigeria.
Of course.
Yeah, same.
What
same,
do you mean?
Man.
But that's a no-brainer, bro.
No, the thing is, for me, like
I sound like, imagine that I sounded flipping British UK. I don't sound any bit like when I'm talking. I don't sound any bit of anything, bruv. But if it comes down to it, it's teams again, bruv. Everything is teams, bro. Everything is teams. Know your team, bro. Like I'm telling you, because when the chips are down, they're gonna call you a monkey. When you miss that penalty, bruv, you're a monkey now, bruv.
That's the thing is though with things like that. I mean, for me personally, I'm not really pressed about football personally. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's a bit like whatever. But even with that, like let's say, because personally, I don't actually have an answer for you. I'm not trying to do a cop out. I just don't really know. But even if I was to say England, I wouldn't really feel any type of way about that. Like if a black person was to say to me, "Oh, bro, that's a bad like." You know, that's messed up. Like you should be like, I'm going to be like, but what's to me, like, it's not, you're looking at it like it's a white man thing versus a black man thing. To me, it's like, is there black players on the England team or not? Because it's like, it's like, to me, it don't really, in terms of me, it's like, which one's more representative of me specifically? Do you get what I'm saying?
Would you say,
so it's like, I don't.
Let me ask you this thing, because like, this is really interesting. I don't think I've ever come across a fourth generation black Brit. I don't think I've ever.
Bro, I haven't either. Besides my family.
Would you say, yeah, in you growing up in terms of your home life, not outside the home, but in terms of your home life, yeah, immediate home life, immediate family, would you say you grew up British in the house?
Mostly, yeah, but I still know my roots. Like, there's nothing about being Jamaican or that culture that I wouldn't understand, or I can't get the jokes, or I don't understand all that stuff. So it's not disconnected like some fully whitewashed family, bro. Like it's not that at all.
I'm not saying you're white.
No, I know you're not saying that, but I'm just clarifying because so you get it. Because obviously, I think that would be that's what you would think, innit? Like you'd think it'd probably be more like that, but I think with me, I grew up in a very unique situation where for me, like my family was just integrated. I grew up having babysitters. Like my mum would have friends from Iceland and next European countries, and that. Like for me as a kid, that was my experience. That it wasn't just only around black people.
That makes sense because your parents, your mum and dad, they were third generation. So that makes perfect sense because they were integrated. They were multicultural. Exactly. They were already multicultural because it starts with the first generation. The first generation is the first real ones that will be multicultural because your parents ain't gonna really be But when you think about it, like for instance, when I think about my parents, like my mum, she wasn't. She got along with other people, but she wasn't really a part of them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like she was just there. Like it's kind of like I'm just doing what I have to do. I'll talk to you small, but I'm not really integrated into your thing. I don't really know about your thing, and I don't want to know. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas like Yeah, but whereas when you're first generation, you're thrown into the mix. Do you get what I'm saying? So even though in your home it's all Nigeria, bruv, it's all pounded yam in the house. That's all. Yeah. But then when you come outside, you're eating Greg's sausage rolls with with Patrick and Peter and Harry.
But that's the mad thing about it.
Then the second generation, they even deeper, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the mad thing, because a lot of people will talk about having like they've got like an identity crisis for black people here because they have the cultural thing of their parents having one culture, and then when they come outside, go to school, it's another thing, and they got to like code switch and this, that, the third. See, like, it's different like for me, it's mad to think about the fact that for you, like, you have there's nothing before you that ties you to like the UK or London. So for example, like when I went to primary school, you know what I'm saying? My primary school had like a logo, yeah. And I'm not going to say it's just to not put too much out there, but like, every school's got a logo, whatever you wear on your uniform, whatever.
Yeah.
And the symbol of the school, like we had like a statue, not like a statue, it was like made out of paper mache or something like that, in the middle of the school. Now, when I was a kid, like I was no older than like maybe 7 or 8, something like that. Like my mom told me that she helped to make that. Now, I didn't believe her. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm thinking, nah, that's cap. Like, because you're thinking about your mum. You're like, she wasn't. You can't imagine your parents as a kid sometimes. Like, I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
So, but she told me about something she built that was inside of the thing, innit?
Yeah.
And I went and looked, and she was right. I went and told my teachers. Even my teachers didn't know about it. So you got to think here. And my teachers are mostly predominantly white. So you got to think, if I'm going to a school where there's bare white youths, and even the teachers who I look at like they're the authority, they don't know something that my mum knows. It completely changes like your relationship with this place, as opposed to, my parents ain't from here and da da da.
Yeah.
And then you go back before even my mum and my grandma, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's completely different. And that's why sometimes, even though Black Americans get on my nerves, I ain't going to hold you, they get on my nerves sometimes. I do sometimes relate to, for me, it's not as that deep, but if I have it, I can imagine if you're going back centuries, why you feel some type of way and feel connected to the nation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I kind of get that, like, because most Black people I know, they don't have that. So I think that's why.
I'm sorry, can you repeat? You said we Black Americans don't have what?
Oh, bro, that was as soon as I said that.
Hold on. He's not saying something negative, bro.
I'm not. I understand. I'm not coming trying to be negative. I'm just trying to figure it out.
All right, let me explain it. Basically, because the brother talking, he's 4th generation in the UK. Like his parents, his grandparents, they were born and raised in the UK, innit? Yeah, like in the UK, that's not really something that's typical. It's kind of unusual to meet somebody like that. Most Black people you'll come across in the UK are 1st generation, meaning our parents were born and raised somewhere else. Do you get what I'm saying? So for the fact that he's 4th generation, his roots are British. Do you get what I'm saying? So if someone was to ask him where he's from, he's going to say he's British. Where if someone asks me where I'm from, I'm going to say I'm Nigerian, even though I was born and raised here. So what he's saying is that he understands why Americans think of themselves as American and don't really think of where my ancestry comes from, because you lot are generations upon generations upon generations of like, generations born and raised in America. So he's saying he can relate and understands where you lot are coming from in that respect.
Yeah, not fully, obviously.
Like saying, so basically, when I tell you that I'm from Arkansas and you say, no, where you really from? And I say, nigga, I'm from Arkansas. And you be like, no, like, where you from in Africa? And that's like, I'm not from Africa. Is this kind of like that same thing? Is that what you saying? You feel us on?
Yeah, sort
of. Yeah, but the only thing, so to a degree, but not fully, because it's like I still know my family that's over there. Do you get what I'm saying? If I truth be told, if I had to leave the UK, I know where my family's at in another country. You guys in the States do not have that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so I wouldn't ever make the false equivalency of saying it's exactly the same thing, because it isn't. It's just that I get the sentiment, I think, probably better than a lot of people over here fully do, because of the upbringing I've had myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people in America where they'll say, you know, my grandfather, you know, did this and did that, and my great grandfather did, and that history tied to the same country you've grown up in. Whereas, like, if you don't have that legacy and lineage within the same country you're in, it is a bit of a disconnect. So you got what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like you are going to view it a bit like, this ain't my place, these ain't my people type of thing. And it don't help when you've got a lot of men running around out here trying to tell you that you ain't from here. You know what I mean? And they're trying to tell you go back to where you came from. And you know what I mean? Like,
right, I hear you. That's literally how Black Americans feel about that. So when y'all say ancestors, when we speaking of our ancestors that's been here, and some of us been here before the transatlantic slave trade as well. Some of us actually do have American Indian roots as well. And when we tell foreigners that, a lot of foreigners get like they just tell us what they learned in white people school, and they use the European knowledge against us and be like, "No, white folks told us that you came here from Africa, so that's what you did. That's what happened." But they don't tell the whole truth, and because they don't know our truth, but they sit there
Let me
and
ask
really
you this,
deep
bro.
look.
Hold on. Let me ask you this then, bro. What percentage of African Americans do you think come from Native Americans, and what percentage do you think actually did come from West Africa?
Well, I can tell you that out of the 12.5 million they claim that came from the transatlantic slave trade, that only 2 to 4% of those Africans actually made it to North America. And out of those 2 or 4% was not the only Black American. You know, there was Black people there before those 2 or 4% came.
I mean,
so whether the 200 to 400,000, whether they came, you know, it still was not the majority. The majority of them were in Brazil and stuff like in Jamaica. They was in the Caribbean. Only
yeah,
two
but where
to
did those black
3.4%
people
made it.
and where did those black people in Jamaica come from?
I mean, some of them could have been indigenous to Jamaica as well, but majority. I mean, I don't really know Jamaican history like that, but I know
Bro,
that
a
a
lot of
lot
them
of
came
them
from
did
West
come from
Africa,
Africa.
bro. A lot of them
Right,
came from West
correct.
Africa.
A lot of them did come from Africa. That is correct. I mean, and I'm saying that some Americans did come. Like I said, I'm saying what Google says: 2 to 4% made it over here from the
No, I'm not
transatlantic
arguing.
slave
I'm not
trade.
arguing that. But what I'm saying is that, like, when I hear a lot of black guys or black people in America say, "Oh, we was here already," I'm like, where are you getting it? Where's the information coming from? Like, is it coming from a
Well,
reputable source,
the
or is it
census
just
in
like
America, the
Dane
census,
Calloway.
it's not just Dane Calloway. Okay, so it's like, so first of all, this shit is way before some streaming shit, some podcasting shit, before all of that. Like I said, like that's great that you got 4 generations that's been in Britain. I believe that's what you said. I ain't trying to be malicious and stuff, but that's great that you got 4 generations there. But I got 7, 8 generations here that's on paper that I can pull up. See, I understand the majority of immigrants and get their information from black people either through white people or through the media and television. And, you know, so I understand how that is like a sword against us too, because it makes us look bad. So I understand that you probably feel like I didn't have a dad or like you feel like my daddy wasn't present. I understand that because those tropes did happen in the crack era. I'm not saying y'all personally do that. I'm just saying I understand the negative stereotypes that people could possibly believe about Americans through the media, but that's not necessarily how it always is here. It's not as bad as
bro, we
people
know
think.
that,
People don't
bro.
really know.
Bro,
I'm gonna be
Right.
honest. Like you, I think the problem is like you guys in the States, you really underestimate how much people outside of America understand. Like we're not these one-dimensional. Like we're not these one-dimensional people. And I've had arguments with Black Americans over this before, yeah. And I'll just say it like this: at the end of the day, I had to go through school every year, Black History Month, learning something to do with Black American history. Okay, you guys didn't do a day learning about no Black British history. So the reality is, we have to learn a lot about you guys. And I'm not trying to say that like, but it gets a bit tiresome when we keep hearing you guys over here and you don't know. And it's like, bro, we do know. Like the reality is, you know.
Well, give me just a second. Let me try.
Like
let
we
me
know,
let me
like
let me say this.
let's be real.
Nah,
We know
there's new
more about you lot
information.
than
Nah, listen, guys.
no. You're
There's
not
new.
the host. You're not the host. You're not the host. Chill.
I understand that.
What I'm saying, yeah, is that, and I just wanted to make this quick point, is that, and I don't really think you can argue this, that, bro, we know more about you lot and you lot's history than you know anything about us.
Facts.
And I don't really see
That
how you
is,
can really argue that.
I give you that. I give you that. So when y'all tell me y'all history, I'm gonna shut my fucking mouth and I'm going to listen because I don't know shit about that, and I'm gonna give y'all that respect. But see, I get what y'all saying, but what y'all not understand is we as black people are learning new information. We are finally doing what people said we'll never do. We've been picking up books and we've been reading. And we've been understanding how we have been programmed in their schools to diverse against ourselves. See, majority, I'm from the South of America. I'm South. I'm from the South. So majority of us all grew up with hearing that we had American Indians in our roots. We always have heard that. That's not something that's new. So it's not Dan Calloway that's just making it where we like, oh yeah, it's more something of a resonance because we already have heard that before from our elders. My great grandma probably may told me who I was a long time ago.
When
But
they
she's passed away now.
when black people in America was having in the real Pan African Black Power movement and all of that stuff in the what was it in the 70s and stuff like that, was they talking
At the 70s, 80s.
in the 80s? Sorry, my bad, bro. What they wasn't talking about being Native American. Why was that?
No, no. Well, because after the Vietnam War had came, because we was promised to get those GI Bills. After the Vietnam War came, and we did not get those GI Bills, and a lot of we got put on the front line, and a lot of us still survived and made it through that. And they left those people. They left those have been like my grandfathers, my uncle, my great uncles and stuff. They left those people out there with nothing and with problems. And at the same time, they flooded our community with drugs. So by the time the 80s hit, we as a collective of people was like, fuck America. Like fuck
Try
all
not
this
to
shit.
swear
We
so
done put
much,
our
bro.
blood sweat. So that's where the Pan African shit came from. It came
Bro,
from
stop
pretty
try
much of
not
the
to swear
hatred.
so much, bro.
I apologize. I definitely apologize. But that's basically kind of where our hatred came from on that, and that's where we touched in with the Pan African roots, just for the simple fact of we had our wits in with America at that time. And
So you're saying
I'm a
the
'90s
Pan
baby.
African. So you're saying the Pan Africans, they didn't really identify with being African. They just did that because they didn't like America no more. Is that what you're saying?
No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that was the trend then. In the '80s, that
Oh,
was the
it was
trend.
just a trend.
In the '70s, like I'm saying, you gotta understand what I'm trying to say. It's a part of American culture. The same way the media, how y'all learned us through the media, is the same way we kind of learned certain things through the media as well. There was a movie called Superfly. That's where the pimping and all the how they dress. A lot of that stuff came from the media. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the
We
media,
perpetrated and
yeah,
did it in our
yeah,
life as well.
yeah. The
So
media
I'm just trying to
definitely did a
explain to
number.
y'all,
Yeah.
our Pan African roots. See, you got to understand, our political leaders were gone by the time the '70s came in. They had already took Huey P. Newton,
Yeah,
all of the Black
I
Panther
looked into
Party,
that.
Martin
Yeah.
Luther King. They already took all that. So we had a 20 years where I mean, as a community, we was in shambles because the CIA and the FBI can put drugs in our communities, and we trying to shake back from that. That's something that was never
I get
supposed to
that,
happen.
bro. I hear you. But what my thing is, this is like, okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a straight question. Yeah. Do you think that a lot of Black Americans will prefer, even if they know, even if they don't know if it's true or not? Would you agree that a lot of Black Americans would prefer the sound to say, "Oh, I'm Native American," over I have African lineage?
No, no, that's not part. We don't even say we native anyway. We say we American Indian. And
Okay, cool.
and as far as
However you
that,
want to slice it. However,
we acknowledge
bro. Let's
we
not go into the
acknowledge both,
intricacies of
sir.
that. That's not the point of the
No,
question. The point of the question
but
is,
but
do
but that
you think? Do you
we
think?
acknowledge
Yeah.
both.
Do you think? Do you think that a lot of Americans would prefer the sound of saying, I'm a Native American, over saying I'm of African origin? Which one do you think a lot of Americans would prefer to say, or like the sound of better? Because I think, and I don't think it's just an African American thing. I think that globally, like, and this isn't just black people. I think that globally there's an anti-African vibe.
Okay, well,
Globally.
no, that's not what it is. Because if we talk about history, both enslaved us and sold us. So no, it's not like which one was better or nothing like that. The Black Americans that you hear saying that they have American Indian roots, they're probably saying that because their grandma or their great grandma told them that through their oral history of their own personal family, and they're probably telling the truth. And then
You
some
can't.
don't
No, but
believe that
if you
they
say
have any. So
probably, if you say probably,
hold on.
that's not
Some Black
100%,
Americans,
bro.
sir,
Probably
some
saying
Black
probably
Americans
is not
never heard,
100%.
sir, some Black Americans never heard nothing about having no Indian heritage in them at all. So they would definitely be more likely to be proud to be from Africa. The only ones who are putting any pushback and saying that we ain't just 100% from Africa are the ones who family members told them what it was.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying
and
through
what
our oral
percentage and what
family.
percentage and okay, cool. So what percentage do you think that's the majority of African Americans come from that situation? Or do you
If you
think
come from the South, yes. If you come from the South, yes.
okay, but the
Because
South is not
like
the whole of America, bro. So I'm saying in
right,
general,
it's
what do
not. But
you
the
think?
majority of the Black Americans are in the South, though.
Okay, cool. But in America, bro, do you think the majority
That,
of Black Americans have that situation?
Are you talking about foundational Black Americans? If you talk about them, then
Yeah.
yes. But if you talking about just as Black people as it is today,
I'm not
no.
including. No, don't. I'm not including black immigrants from
Oh well, yes,
whatever.
sir.
I'm
Well, yes,
talking
sir. If
about
you talking
just
about
black
foundational,
Americans that class themselves as
yes, sir.
FBA or
If
whatever.
yes, sir. If you talking about foundational Black Americans, yes, sir. I personally believe the majority of Black Americans do have Native or quote unquote American Indian roots. All you got
Wow.
to do is the genealogy. We
Wow.
do have see this. See this is the thing that see
Okay.
this is the thing that see this is the thing that's new that y'all don't get that we find out too. You get what I'm saying? That then we actually have the thing
But you
called
haven't actually given us
genealogy.
no real sources. You all you've said is that somebody in
Well,
our
I mean,
family said
I
that
could have
we're Native
sworn
American, bro. That's all you've
so
said.
the Dawes Rose in
How did they?
genealogy,
Pardon?
that's not so the Dawes Rose. Do you know what the Dawes Rose is? The Dawes Rose Commission, do you know what that is?
No, go on, enlighten us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So what a lot of Black Americans are doing now, we're doing our genealogy. So we're doing our not DNA, but we're doing our genealogy through ancestry or whatever, whoever you want to go. You can
Why
go through
wouldn't you do your
ancestry.
DNA?
Because DNA, because the DNA is not even of what they say 0.01% accurate. It's more for entertainment purposes more than anything. So we
Yeah,
do
yeah,
our
entertainment.
genealogy.
Yeah, that's
So we
yeah.
do our genealogy because that is factual. Those are certificate. Those are things that is actually factual. Their signatures are there. Their
Because you can't
classifications
get the
there. Their
remains,
height.
the details of
The
old remains. Like you can't get
Okay,
the details
cool.
of
But how far back,
the
like, are we
corpse.
talking about a couple generations, or how far are we talking with
Well,
genealogy?
okay. So the first census started in 1790. Me myself personally, as far as on the census records, I could go back to like 1720, because the first person that's on my family tree in the 1790s, he was already like in his 60s
Okay.
when he took his first census. See, a lot like I understand that a lot of y'all think we don't know who our daddies and shit is, and think we don't know who our
No,
people
stop
is.
saying
But
that,
we
bro.
do
Because
have this thing.
no,
We
bro,
do
no
have this
one's
thing
saying
called
that.
genealogy.
No, bro,
Okay,
bro, bro,
okay,
bro,
well,
bro, bro,
cool.
bro,
Well, I
bro, bro,
appreciate that.
bro,
If y'all
bro,
not saying
bro,
that, I
hey,
appreciate that. This
bro,
ain't for y'all then.
bro. When I'm saying something, you gotta stop talking, bro. Like, fam, nobody's saying you don't know who your dads are. I don't know why you keep saying that.
It's not, sir. I'm just saying that's the general topic point that immigrants and white people say about
We're not
the
white
black
though,
culture.
so I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
understand that, but you still are an immigrant.
What?
So if it's
what?
not for
What
you,
did
if
you
the shoe
say?
don't fit, don't wear it.
What did you say?
Bro doesn't know what immigrant is.
What did you say?
Nothing, sir. I'm listening. What was you saying?
No, I'm asking you. What did you just say, bruv?
I'm saying that am I directly speaking to you on this matter? I was just speaking in general when I'm speaking, and
No,
I'm
you
just
said
I'm
something
just
about
saying it.
immigrant. What did you say? What did you mean? What are you trying to say? Immigrant? Immigrant of where? Where am I an immigrant, bro?
You're not from America.
So
I
if
just
you,
say it like that.
but bruh, I'm not in America right now. So how would I be an immigrant, bruv?
Okay, my fault. I misspoke. I
See,
didn't know,
you
bro.
see, this is what.
But that's not a big deal. The point,
This is
the
why
bigger,
I see
the
what you're
bigger
saying,
deal,
King Richards. I see
the
what you're
bigger
saying
deal is
about
you asked
like
me
we need
where
to
the bigger,
understand
the
each
bigger
other,
deal,
bro. Because
bruh,
the bigger deal
this is
is you
the
asked me
no,
how I
bruv.
can
Stop
prove
talking.
myself,
Stop
and
talking.
I
Stop talking. You made the mistake. Stop talking, bruv. See, this is the thing. This is why sometimes talking with you lot is mad. Because like you lot, the way you lot think America's the whole world, bro, and it's not, fam. How am I gonna be in my own country where I was born talking to you over the internet and you call me an immigrant? Like, what are you talking about, bro? What?
It's because YouTube was made by Americans, so technically,
Bruv, I don't know about that, but bro, like, listen,
let
me bring him back, bro.
Netflix actors, they are British. If you didn't know that, they're British. A lot of these
let's not even
black.
go that route, bro. Like, anyway, like, but yeah, let me bring you back in anyway. Go on.
Yeah, bro. I was just speaking about the Dawes Commission role. I was trying to explain to y'all what that was, if that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so the Dawes Commission role is basically it's a documentationist report that if your family members was classified as Indians, then your family names would be on that report.
All right, cool. So, what you truly believe that most Black Americans are not from African lineage; they are all from American lineage. Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Because you use words like all and stuff like that. No, sir. That's not what I'm
I
saying.
said most.
I'm
When
saying
did
that
I
there are
say all?
some. I'm saying there are some, sir. All I'm saying is there are some.
And I
I don't know if the 60-40%.
And I asked you earlier, do you think it's the majority? That's why I asked you earlier, and you said yes.
Okay. Well, yes, I do. Yes.
What? Bro is confused.
I'm not discounting. At the end of the look, all I'm doing, I'm not discounting the people. I'm not discounting the Africans did come over here. I'm not discounting that. I'm never discounting that. I understand that. That's a fact that happened. But what I'm also not going to discount is the American Indian lineage that's here too.
I don't even doubt that they could have been. I don't know. I wasn't there, bro. But like at the end of the day, a lot of things that people say is speculation, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like sometimes people
have you ever heard of Walter Plecker, sir?
Sometimes people are saying things and they don't really know, but they're saying it because they just don't want to sound. They don't like the sound of Africa or African. It's like, oh, I don't want to be.
That's true for some, sir. That's true for some, sir, but that's not true for all. Have you ever heard of Walter Plecker, sir?
I never said all, bruv. So I don't know why you're telling me that's not true for all. I never said all though.
Understood. Have you ever heard of Walter Plecker, sir?
What's that?
Have you ever heard of Walter Plecker?
Nah.
In 1920, I believe it was 1924, he basically made it illegal for Black Americans to be considered Indian. He made it a law. And there was other laws even before that, but that's more of a prevalent law that, it ain't, but I'm just saying, bro. I mean, I said.
Here's the question I would ask you, right? Because this is what my thing is about that whole topic. Let's just assume it's all true. Because to me personally, the debate about it is whatever. Even if it's true, okay, and now what? Because you said like, okay, yeah, it was made illegal to be Indian. And so if it wasn't illegal, how would that benefit you as a Black American if that wasn't the case? What's the difference?
Well, after the Civil War in 1866, when the Indian Act or whatever, the Indians was the last ones. Well, the Cherokee Nations was the last ones to release their slaves. So when they made that, when they created that law, initially the Black Americans that was here, even if you was in the Indian territory, or especially if you was enslaved by those Indians, then you was supposed to have the same liberties and freedoms as the quote unquote Native Americans do today. Supposed to have access to, like the U.S. colored troops, which my fifth great grandfather fought in. They actually did create the first national, the first Indian reservation and their park as well. We were supposed to get that, but what the Indians did, the $5 Indians backdoored us, and they went back to the government, and then that's when they started the blood quantum law. That's when they started doing that. So to alienate us from that, and it's just the Black American history. So just like y'all was saying about British history and y'all history, and that's why I apologize to you about calling you an immigrant and you not. That was my bad. I don't mind telling y'all when I'm wrong or anything like that because I'm really not even trying to debate. I'm just trying to open y'all ears up and understand that this all ain't coming from a place of hate. It's a lot of Black Americans that are learning who they are, right? Who are just learning how this ancestry stuff work, and they doing their genealogy now, and they
That's
have
cool.
the
That and
lineage.
bro, do you know what? Yeah, this is the thing. Like at the end of the day, you lot being Black Americans is not even an issue. It's not like no one doesn't really care, bro. I'm just being honest, bro. Like it's you lot that care about that. So and that's fine. That's you lot stuff, yeah. But blacks
Right. Same
outside
way we
black.
don't care
Hold
about
on, hold
British
on,
shit.
hold on, hold
You
on,
right,
hold on. Let me
right.
just make this point, bro. Like blacks outside of that, we're not desperately trying to make you be something that you don't want to be or something you're not. We're just trying to make this understanding that you're black, we're black, they're black, and the rest of the world, they're playing their own game and they're on their own side, bro. Now, from all these bad things that keep happening, the racial tensions and all of this in the various different countries, don't you think that being xenophobic is just kind of a stupid thing for black people to be doing, regardless of what nation they're from? Don't you think that's kind of stupid? All this division, don't you think this is kind of stupid? Like,
I don't think Black people could are xenophobic. If it's anything, I feel like the Africans are more anti against the Black Americans than that. We
oh
embrace
yeah,
y'all culture. We love y'all. I don't.
bruh,
Oh, mom.
bruh.
See, that
Okay,
doesn't.
no. Hold on. So why do you
Oh, okay. I'm
what
not on mute.
Africans are anti-black Americans? What Africans exactly?
But sir,
Because Africa's not a country, Africa's a continent. So what
I
Africans are?
understand.
What Africans, bro? What all the countries in Africa are anti-black American or what? What are you trying to say?
I'm not saying that all of anything. I'm saying that there is a lot of anti-Black cultures, period, embedded. It's a lot of children that teach their children not to deal with Black Americans. Stay away from Black Americans. Don't trust
Where,
Black Americans.
where,
We're
where,
criminals
where, where? Okay, give me an
in all
example.
communities, sir.
Nah, bro. I'm not gonna let you just say these ambiguous craps, bro. I'm just not having it, bro. Like, give me a
It
clear
don't matter. It
example.
don't matter.
Give me give me a clear example in where you've witnessed where in an African country, the typical African person has been teaching their children to hate African Americans. Please tell me where I can find this.
Nobody said hate. And I
Or
don't
don't
live
like
around a lot
them,
of
or
Africans.
don't
I
trust
don't
them,
live.
or whatever, bro.
Sir. I don't personally live around a lot of Africans. I work with a few here and there, twos and fews. When I'm in the South, I'm not around a lot of immigrants. So truthfully, when it comes to these topics, this is more so what I see on the media as well, just like y'all see
So
stuff
you're
on the
chatting
media.
shit then, bro. Because you don't even,
No.
bro.
No.
You just
It's
said
just funny.
no,
It's funny.
bruv.
No, this the thing.
You've
This the
actually just
thing.
ruined what you've said. You just ruined your
Yeah.
whole premise of that one
No,
segment.
I didn't.
You just said,
I'm up here
bro,
talking, bro. This ain't a,
no,
I'm not
bruv,
a debater. This ain't
no, bruv. You said Africans, etc., don't like African Americans. That's what you said, bro. Like, let's not try and switch it up. You said that, and I asked you which Africans. Yeah. Now you're telling me you're not even around Africans, and you're just going off what you saw in the media. But you're the same guy that's telling us that, oh, the media or the white people have been lying to you lot about where you come from. So you've just ruined your whole argument. That one little segment, you've ruined it, bro.
if it wasn't a lot of those if there wasn't a lot of those people actually on social media doing the things that they're doing. Now, if that wasn't going on, and if it wasn't so much, like even Godfrey talks about this shit all the time. He know the names. He know exactly who it is, and what countries. He talks about it. So if you want to know, reference
No, I'm
Godfrey.
asking you.
Godfrey knows.
I'm asking you.
Yeah,
I'm
you
asking
talking
you.
right? Yeah, you're talking to me.
Yeah.
You're talking to me. I didn't make this about Africa specific.
Yes, you
I wasn't
did.
even talking
Oh,
about
Jesus
bro.
Christ.
You did. You
Oh
did. I've been
my
talking about American
God.
Indian shit up here this whole time. I've been
Brother,
talking about American
brother, I
Indian. I've been
told
talking about
brother,
Black
hey, mate.
Americans. You brought up everything else,
Shut
fam.
up, bro. Like, this ain't your show. You need to calm down and stop trying to overrun, bro. Like, you don't control this, bro. Like, I don't know what you think this is, bro. Like, so you can have a proper conversation. I can unmute you and speak properly, or like you could just go, bro. But I don't really give a shit, to be honest. And I told you to stop swearing as well, and now you've gone back to swearing, bro. Like, we can't do it like this. Like, bro, like, I don't know why you come here thinking you can overtalk me. Oh, you Africans think this and that, and then you're talking about you can't even give me an example. Then now you're telling me to talk to other people. I'm talking to you. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, now we can try this one more time, bro. I'm calm, you're calm. Let's go.
All right, you got the flow, bro.
So
what you need?
You said that Africans said what? Let's make it specific, yeah, and be accurate. What did you say? Africans, they don't like African Americans, or they teach their kids not to like them or something. What did you say specifically?
I said immigrants of all cultures.
No, you didn't. Don't lie. You said Africans, bro. Don't lie. You do realize this is recording? Like, I don't need to try and catch you out. It's recorded, bro. You said Africans. Don't change it, bro.
Okay, so it don't have to be changed. Okay, there is Africans that have anti-black sentiments. What?
And I said which Africans, and I asked you which Africans.
There's Nigerians, there's Ghanaians, there's
bro. Okay, and give me the exact examples. Give me the exact examples.
The exact examples of them being anti-black.
Then the next thing you said was, I'm not even around Africans. I'm just going off what I see in the media.
Okay.
That's what you said. And then you started talking about then you started talking about Godfrey. Why am I gonna, bro? Godfrey's not here. I'm talking to you. You're the one that made that statement, bro.
Right, sir. So I can see. Remember when you said earlier that I don't know a lot about your culture? Like you said that, and you was like, you know more about my culture than I know about yours, because I don't know nothing about yours. And I said, you're correct on that. Same thing. I don't know a lot about the African culture neither, but I do know from what I've seen on social media, and a lot of people agree. A lot of people agree with it. I'm not saying all. I'm saying a lot of people agree with it. Maybe it's a minority of y'all. Maybe it is. Maybe they're doing the same propaganda that. Maybe it's the same propaganda. Like you said earlier, maybe I fell into the trap as well. I'm not good to. I can admit that. Of course, we are following the propaganda with the media. I have heard.
So you do realize. Okay, cool. With that being said. So cool. So with that being said, you do realize that you could. There's a possibility. There's actually a very good possibility that when you made that statement, you was chatting shit. And you don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's not. Well,
no?
You know what? From you know what? From personal experiences, I can't necessarily say that. You're right. Personal experiences with me and where I live at in the South, you correct. Maybe I was talking shit that I didn't know nothing about. That is correct.
Thank you.
As far as media goes, and like you said, that could be that personal, that individual person that could be doing that. So I follow the same trap as everybody else do. I'm human.
So what media page? So, okay, cool. So what social media page do I need to go to see where all these Africans, are talking about African Americans in a bad way? Because I can easily show you where they're talking about where African Americans are talking crap about Africans. There's loads of platforms.
I'll hear you. But for the Black American side, like okay. For Black Americans, they have for the last about 5 years, people been on social media. People have been. Granted, I give you that. Now, from what I'm seeing on internet and social media as well, is that when a lot of immigrants do come over here, they do say, yeah, we heard and we learned about what we learned from y'all through the media and how y'all portray y'all self. So it made us look at y'all to a negative way until we actually bumped into one of y'all as an individual and got to know y'all. You know what I'm saying? And
Are
that's
you
just
talking
fair
about? Are you
game. 'Cause
talking about? Are you talking about Africans that come to America that live in America, right?
right.
Okay, but and remember, those are the ones that you don't come into contact with as well. Remember?
Not much. I got one
Okay,
on my
cool.
job.
Okay, cool. So we actually spoke about this dynamic earlier in the live stream, and the thing that a lot of, again, I've had to explain before, and I'm going to explain to you, is that the type of Africans, you know, from various countries that manage to come to America, which is pretty much the other side of the world, are not the typical. It's not the typical Nigerian, Ghanaian, South African, Kenyan, or whatever. That's not the typical. That's not the run of the mill. That's not the common. Yeah, that is gonna be those who are of a higher class. They're gonna be of a certain class who they themselves within their own country. They're going to be looking down on the people of their own country. It's not regular people that are just gonna come all the way to America. That's a huge financial investment. The kind of a financial investment that most people, 90%, 95% of people in that country cannot do. They just can't do it.
So what you saying is it's not you basically saying it's not the country, it's not the countries, the continent as a whole. It's just the individuals that get here, and a lot of them assimilate with white supremacy.
I can't speak for all of them. I can't speak for all of them, but for the ones that have gone over there and they've said derogatory things about black Americans, I would say you'd have to treat them as individuals, because at the end of the day, they don't represent the majority. They don't even represent half. They don't even represent a third of the people that from the country they come from. They don't. So when you make a statement like you Africans, blah 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 blah, that is a very inaccurate thing to say. It's extremely inaccurate, because as I said earlier, let me talk about Nigeria, yeah, because a lot of people like to hate Nigerians, right? In Nigeria, most people are on survival mode. They're just trying to make ends meet, trying to eat, trying to have somewhere to sleep. So they haven't got time to be hating on black Americans. That's actually ridiculous to have that mindset, bro.
It's not ridiculous when you see it on the media.
Oh, because you see it in the media, that means that's 100% facts, yeah? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, bro. Like it's the same. I'm saying. I don't think I'm saying this, bro. It's the same on both sides.
No,
so
no, it's not the same, because no. Okay, cool. I get what you mean, but it's the same on both sides. But what I'm saying to you, as you are a man in a first world country who has internet, you have access to information, you've learned all this stuff about you done genealogy and all of this, you know all this stuff, but you don't know that the media can sell you propaganda. You don't know that.
Of course I know that.
So why is it all of a sudden you don't know that when you're looking at media depictions of quote unquote Africans talking shit about African Americans? How come you don't realize that?
I'm not saying I don't know that.
So
I'm
what are you saying
this.
then?
I don't know. Hold on. I'm saying this right here. So I don't know I don't know no Asian people either. I don't know none of them, but I still feel the way I feel about the Rick Charles situation. You know, and yeah, I understand. Maybe that's an individual, but it's been a lot of individuals doing it over at the same time. I understand what you're saying, bro, but at the end of the day, hell, man, you got it, bro.
At the end of the day, what, bruv? There's no at the end of the day, bro. Like, I just told you, the majority of people, bro, we're talking about third world countries, bro. You live in a first world country. Yeah,
right, but you're talking
about third world.
You specified the ones that are here.
Bro. We're talking about third world countries where some of these people, a lot of people can't even go to school. A lot of these people are illiterate. They can't even read or write. And you think that they're thinking about African Americans? Oh, we don't like them. Are you for real, bro?
You specified, sir. That we already. I conceded to that point. we specified now that these are the small groups that get to come over here and they have those ways, but they are not. You telling me that the people are not the same as the people that actually get to make it here to America. I conceded at that point because I've never been to Africa, so I can't do nothing but take your word for it.
But
So
you don't need
now
to take my
I'm not
bro. You
speaking
don't
about.
need to take my
I'm
word
not
for
speaking.
it, bro. You have the internet. You don't, bro. You have the internet. You don't have to take my word for it. No one has to take anything I say. Go and do your own research. If you can research your family to 1766, I'm sure you can do research to find out how the typical, normal, common Nigerian is living today. It's not that hard, bro. And this is what I'm saying. Yeah, I've a lot of times people they can't be bothered to find out. They don't care, or they haven't been told. It's one of the two, bro. But to come out and then say, "Oh, Africans," I mean, you have to be very specific on what you're saying. If you're saying the Africans I've come across, that I've seen in my country, they've said these things. I don't know about the rest of them, but these specific people I've come across have said this. Then that would I can accept that. Then you have to tackle those people. But when you start talking about a whole continent or whole,
Can I ask you this, sir? Can I ask you this, bro?
Go on.
Do you look at, so in your eyes, do you look at us Black Americans as individuals, or do you look at us as a collective?
I take everyone as an individual.
Okay, I appreciate that. I understand why this conversation going where it's going. I don't talk to a lot of people.
That's what a sensible
Nah,
person would do.
hold on. Let me say this, sir. I don't talk to a lot of people like you. I don't talk to a lot of people that look at all of us as individuals. In most cases, when people speak about Black Americans, they lump us all into one category. You, as an individual, sir, you are different on that. You are different, and I will give you that. And that's why this conversation kind of going the way it's going too. And that's kind of more because I'm not used to talking to somebody that looks at all of us as individuals. Most of the time, and I guess that's why all the stuff that I was saying is kind of going over your head to a certain degree because you don't look at life like that. So you know what, I have to refrain because at the end of the day, and I appreciate that too. But understand what I mean. Majority of folks don't look at us like that.
This is the thing, bro. Like, this is like, I don't know if you've seen my content before or you was here at the beginning of this.
Nah, this is my first time.
Okay, awesome. So this is the thing, and this is the thing about me that somebody that doesn't know about me. Yeah, I've had a very unique experience because I was born and raised obviously in the UK, London. Yeah, multicultural environment. I grew up around, obviously Nigerians, Africans, Ghanaians. I grew up around a lot of Caribbeans as well. My next door neighbor was Jamaican, so that's a given. Then I moved to America. I went to school there. I did the whole college football experience in the South as well, right? So, and I was there for years. So it's like I've got a different perspective. I've got my own home life of being Nigerian African. Then loads of my friends were Caribbean. Then I lived in America with Black Americans, bro. Like, so it's like my mindset is that I have to treat everyone like an individual because I understand everybody's not the same. There's always good and bad in every group. Do you get what I'm saying? But I understand this. And I've lived in predominantly white areas. And the one thing I've understood is that, bruh, they look at us all the same. Even if they try to act like, oh, you lot are better than those ones. No, they just look at all you lot the same, bro. And that's the fact. And the fact is, and the reason why I even do this live stream is because of the Carmelo Anthony situation, because I was on a podcast yesterday that talked about that. Bro, the first ever video, the video's not on my channel no more, but the first ever video I ever did on YouTube, yeah, was in 2016, and it was talking about when the white cops was shooting black men on camera. That was the first ever video I ever did. I did that. I was still in America when I did that video, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I understand that. Like,
my outlook on this is, I just think black people need to. We don't have to be one nation, but we have to have an understanding because, bro, the way the climate is turning these days, bro, everyone's picking their sides, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand that. Like I said, bro, you got to understand what I'm saying on this, bro. You like the first person I to talk to with this type of mindset. Most of the time, it's disrespectful, and most of the time, it's oh, you just don't know your lineage. You don't know your people. You don't know where you come from. You a slave. You know what I'm saying? That's normally what we get. And this ain't just like since I've been on this YouTube shit. I get that a whole lot on these YouTube streets. Like I said, now I'm around more Mexicans than anything as far as immigrants. I'm around a lot of Mexicans, and they damn sure show anti-black sentiments as well. You feel me? So maybe I could be wrong for lumping all immigrants together. You know what I'm saying? Because there is individuals out here like you. But I speak about people like you, and I say that y'all exist, but y'all are a minority. The majority of people speak bad, speak ill of me just because I don't
But bro,
say
you're saying, but you said earlier you're not even around Africa. You just said that earlier, bro.
no, not Africans. No, not Africans, sir. And that's why I'm saying I've been lumping all immigrants together. You feel me? And that's why I said I could be wrong. You get what I'm saying? That's what
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying.
fair
I'm
enough,
taking
fair enough.
responsibility on that part. I'm just saying, as far as Africans, I see that shit on the media. And
But like,
in person,
but bro,
like
we all
in
know,
in person,
we know, bro. I'm blocking this idiot in the chat, bro, because he just come to chat shit. Listen, at the end of the day, like, I just think that you can't, you keep saying I've seen this in the media, I've seen in this media. I don't think that's really like, respectfully, I don't think that's a smart thing to keep saying, bro. Like, because we know the media is television is programming. We know that. We know that we're bombarded with we're
right.
bombarded with a lot of propaganda, and we know that we're in predominantly non-black in societies. So why would they put? Think about it. What in a predominantly non-black country? Why would they push out positive reinforcement that would encourage black people to look at each other as relatable, understanding each other, unity? And I'm not saying everybody has to be the same nation. I'm just saying having a unity, a global kind of camaraderie. Why would they do that? It doesn't even make sense. Divide and conquer and keep it that way. It's very
That's
simple.
true.
It's a very simple strategy, bro. Like, but for some reason, it's just like it's ignored, bro. Like, that whole idea is ignored. Now we're to, oh, the media shows us images of this, and bro, that stuff is it's propaganda, bro. As I said, majority of people are just trying to survive, bro. No matter where we're talking about. We're
Yeah, I
talking
mean
about
that is
America.
true.
Yeah,
But
we're
like I
talking
said,
about
in most
America.
cases, bro,
Huh?
in most cases though, like so, like the only Africans that's around here, like they sell clothes. I mean, not all of them. They sell food and stuff like that. Like I see, I deal with them and stuff like that. And one, I mean, he sells shoes. I've been knowing him since he been selling shoes out back in his truck. I've been fucking with him for a long time. And like he says, I have conversations with him as an individual. He cool as hell, but sometimes he be like, man, y'all niggas sometimes. I had to tell him stop saying nigga around me too. I don't like that shit. But he was like, man, these niggas is lazy. These niggas ain't working. These niggas ain't spending no money. And I was like, hey, Adam, you can't be looking at us like that. A lot of black folks don't even wear this type of street apparel shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of black folks that's doing good too. It's more doing good than it is doing bad. And I had that conversation with him, and he, kind of seen it from a different way. So that's all I'm doing with this as well too. I'm not coming to be fighting about this and that, bro. I'm on some unity shit too. But I do want people, and you doing it. See, you really doing it. You ain't pushing. You ain't give me no disrespect when I told you about my lineage. You ain't trying to test me about it. You ain't do none of that.
Yeah,
So,
because
and I appreciate you
that's
for that.
not my aim, bro. My aim is to, like, this is what someone's asked earlier. What do you think the solution is? And I said, the first step is having conversations and understanding the person you're talking to. Like, obviously, like, now, because it's interesting that you said, oh, like, now I understand the kind of person I'm talking to. Like, because you may have thought, oh, he's just somebody that he's what I'm usually expecting, but
I
he turned out
stereotype
to
you.
be
I
something different.
stereotype you.
And this is what I'm saying, this is the first step. Like, once people actually have conversations, and black people from different, black men particularly, having conversations from different nations and understanding we're not enemies, bro. We're not ops. It's not ops. Like, it never was ops, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this stuff we're talking about, bro, like, if it's actually, honestly, it's actually petty, bro. all this
Well,
FBAs
between
versus
you and
TETHERS
I,
and all this, you're an immigrant and you're this and you're lazy and this, bro. This is all petty, very petty things, bro. Like on the
well,
grand scheme of things, on the grand
basic
scheme.
in basic conversation, yes, but this is what a lot of Black Americans are figuring out now. A lot of us are figuring out that we got a lot of second, third generation people that's in the positions of power, that's in the National Black Caucus, that's in the Democrat seats and senates and all of this and that, and they do not work for our people. Then because we ain't been on our shit, and that's something that I can admit. And a lot of Black Americans are waking up and me admitting that shit, and we looking at the leadership and we seeing where people come from. And yeah, we
bro, I get that, and I get you. That's your own national issues, yeah, or
yeah. So,
but
you're right
I'm
though.
talking
It's
about on a
taking it
broader.
personal.
I'm talking about broader because at the end of the day, okay, cool. Even if let's say you got people in Congress or whatever, or in government positions, and they are trying to like do better things for Black people in America, bro, you're still 13%. You're not the majority in the country, bro. So even if they are working for you and things do get better, gradually, bro, like it's still like how much power do you think you're really gonna have in that environment, bro? Like, and this is why I said that it's better that Black people from different nations should have at least a commonality and relate to each other, and then if it's a thing of we need to help each other, we can help each other, and there's no animosity and we're not ops. That's what I'm saying, bro. We can all be from our own. We can be all from our own nations, bro. No one's trying to force you lot to be something you don't want to be, bro. Do you get what I'm saying?
Can I ask you this, fam?
Go on.
How do you feel about Black Americans and their plight for reparations?
Yeah, why not? Give them reparations. Why not?
I see. I fuck with you.
Went
See
through
now.
hell.
See,
Your
all right. I fuck with.
ancestors.
Okay. So that further lets me know. Like I said earlier, let me know who I'm talking to, bro. So I fuck with you, fool. Now I get what you're saying, bro. I fuck with you. See, but I fuck with you. You refreshing as hell. But that's the point. It's not a lot like you, fam. And maybe I am being biased because what I'm saying on the internet and shit like that, and I hopefully and I hope I'm praying that I am wrong and it is propaganda. But on these internet, on these YouTube streets, bro.
Okay, cool. Go on.
But I'm talking about the YouTube streets now. Like when I be on these panels and we be reacting to this shit, a lot of the immigrants do be with, I don't know if they trolling on or what they doing, but they be with the bullshit and they be agreeing. It's a lot of immigrants that's saying that Cyrus should have got shot in his back and got killed.
I don't know about that. Let's not go down, bro. You're going off of like, come on, like. Let's
I understand. It's a hot topic. It's just a hot topic, and we just feel the way we feel about that here in America. And I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Talking to you, yeah, we can make the world a better place, man. Because I don't have negative views against other people, bro. It's just the fact that I see what I see. And if you can correct me and be man enough to be like, nah, bro, that's just they shit on TV. That ain't what we. I can respect it because I go around doing the same thing, saying like.
Let me give you an example. Yeah, what they used to put on TV about African countries in the UK. What they used to do. Like, this is when I was small. I remember they used to put on these little adverts, like, save the children advert, like, and then it'll be like, and everyone press 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. The save the children in Africa. Donate money to Africa, and then all it will show is little kids with pot bellies with flies around their eyes, and that's the whole of Africa, bruv. When that's not.
Yeah, we was giving.
But guess what? If you didn't, yeah, but this is the thing. If you didn't know Africans and you didn't know nothing, you would think that's true. That's all Africa is. Mud huts. That's what you would think. No, but this is the point I'm trying to make to you, bro. Like you keep coming back to what I saw this in the media. I saw this in the media, bro. The media is programming, bro. Like, that's why it's there. It's to make you think, to make the masses think a certain way, bro. Like, I don't watch TV, bro.
No, I'm saying these panels and these podcasts too, bro.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, bro, that's even, bro. You're listening to a panel of
that's worse.
bro, you're listening to a panel of individuals on a podcast. You don't know where these people come from. You don't know their agenda. You don't know their motives. You don't know anything about these people. And now you're gonna just think whatever they say, that's the God's honest truth, or they're experts. How the fuck do you know who these? You don't even know who these people are, bro.
No, I understand. No, see, this is my thing. It's like
off that.
It's more of a public awareness thing than it is anything. Because the majority of black people treat everybody as an individual. Like that's how we raised. We not raised to look at everybody as monolithic. That we are not. That's just not how we are, bro. We ain't raised like that at all. A lot of the information, like I said, that Black Americans been learning, has really been disheartening. It's been hurting our feelings. Because we didn't think nobody looked at us
Who's
any
in
kind of way.
control of the media,
But like you said,
bro?
don't fall into the propaganda.
Who's in control of the media, bruv? For the most part.
I ain't gonna say their names, but we both know.
Exactly. So then if you know that, then bruv, if you know that, then why would you believe it? Like, do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, bro, let me close up the show, man. I appreciate you calling up, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you too, bro.
All right, yeah, and everybody in the back, sorry, but bro, we're coming up to 4 hours, and I want to end the show. Yeah, so big up to all of you lot. Thanks. I'll be doing more of these shows on a regular basis, so you'll get a chance to talk again. Big up to everyone. Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, this was a fire live stream. This was fire, Star. This was fire, bro. I'm very, very happy with this live stream. I think we talked about some very relevant topics. I think there was a lot of revelations that come out in this live stream. I think a lot of lessons are learned, even lessons I've learned stuff as well. Like this was a really good live stream, bro. Really good. I think I'm gonna have to do this on a regular basis, talk about these kind of topics, because I really want us black guys, black people, to have these conversations so that we can like kind of dismantle all these negative messages, negative ideas, all of this evil, corrupt social engineering that has been built up to keep us divided and trying to destroy ourselves, bro. Because at the end of the day, as I said, everybody else out there is playing teams, bro. Everyone else is picking their teams. And as I said, in light of the things that are going on in this current day and age, where a lot of people are coming out to try and instigate problems with black people, antagonize black people, just outright just be straight up like evil, I think we need to really just kind of fix our mindsets and just build bridges, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, man, big up to everyone. This was a fire live stream. If you can, leave a super thanks in the comments below. If you can, continue to support the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this video with all your friends. Tell all your friends about this channel, yeah. Big up to Team Fatty for the collaboration on this live stream. Big up to the Untouchables. Big up to everybody. Big up to everyone that spoke on the panel today. Love, respect, as always, man. King Rich's salute. You lot take care of yourselves, and yeah, man, we all we got. I'm out of here. Peace.